Well, a very good afternoon and a warm welcome along here to North Dublin. We're in Castle Avenue, Clontarf Cricket Club, for this the third of the three-match international series between Pakistan women, the visitors, and Ireland women, the hosts, who are 2-0 up in this series. They have an unassailable lead. They're also on an incredible hot streak. 9 consecutive victories in T20 international cricket, already a record. Can they extend it? Well, a little while earlier with the two captains out with Celeste Rack for the toss. Let's go and find out what happened.
It's time for the toss, and I'm joined by Gabby Lewis, captain of Ireland, Fatima Sana, captain of Pakistan, and match referee Graham McRae. Go for it, Gabby.
Yes.
Gabby, you've won the toss finally. What do you want to do today and why?
We're going to have a bat first today, third game on this pitch, so we were hoping it'll crumble a bit towards the second innings. With our spinners coming in, we're playing 3 spinners today, so happy to finally win a toss.
Brilliant, and very exciting win 2 days ago on this very pitch. Is there anything that you guys wanted to work on today to be even better?
I think it's just still bringing the bravery like we did the last game. Obviously batting first, we don't have the target to hit today, but I think it's to still keep pushing it and being as aggressive as we can with the bat.
Brilliant. Any team news for today?
Yeah, Jane Maguire is being rested today, and we are delighted to have Freya Sargent back from a long-term injury, so we're delighted to have her back on the pitch and can't wait to see her do well today.
Thanks, Gabby. Well, all the best for today.
Thank you.
Fatima?
Thanks. Good luck.
Fatima didn't win the toss today. What would you have done if you'd won?
I think bat first, but unfortunately, it doesn't matter.
You're happy either way.
Yeah.
Excellent. Tough day for you guys 2 days ago. What are you going to work on today?
I think our main focus is for the World Cup, so we just want to in our confidence shape in our team, so that's the main goal.
Any team changes for you today?
Yeah, we have one changes. Sidra Amin is out and Wahida Akhtar is in.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Good luck for today.
Thank you.
So that's it from the middle. Ireland have won the toss and will bat today.
So that's the news from the middle. Ireland winning the toss and choosing to have a bat first. One change in both of those two sides. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. I want to introduce you to the two people across to my left. Great to have two Irish cricket captains. Andrea Balbirnie, the current Test captain, and Isabel Joyce, the former captain of the Irish women's side. Izzy, might start with you. A historic day, an incredible day for the Lewis family and for Gabby. A 100th cap for her, just the second Irish woman to achieve that.
Yeah, I think it's kind of Gabby's thing, isn't it, breaking records. She's been in the team for a very long time, considering she's only, 23. It's hard to think that she's been in there for 10 years, but yeah, well deserved. She's the leader of the team in many ways, not just as captain, but with her work ethic and all that kind of stuff. So it's great to see her join Laura Delaney as the second Irish woman to get 100 T20I caps.
Yeah, the 52nd woman overall. Keep your eyes on Lewis in the future. Who knows, she could well become the record caps holder, you reckon, in years to come. And the third game of 3, we have to reflect on that game 2 days ago. I'm still catching my breath. A remarkable ending. Jane Maguire, the hero.
It was an amazing finish. One that, felt was in the balance of the halfway stage of the Irish innings, and I thought the way Rebecca Stokel, Laura Delaney and Orla Prendergast set it up for that kind of famous moment for Jane Maguire was a credit to how Ireland have been playing, and we've spoken about the momentum they have, and by winning games like that is just going to give them so much confidence going forward.
Is it fair to say that Ireland really probably not at the races for maybe 70% of that game? Pakistan dominated much of it?
Yeah, I think some of the bowling wasn't great. Maybe some of the plans, Gabby touched on it in the aftermatch stuff, that she felt like people weren't clear enough in their plans. Arlene Kelly's a little bit of a surprise because she's usually nailed on with her plans. It just wasn't coming out right. I think for her, she probably knew the plan, and she wasn't bowling well, and that can happen sometimes. You can't be perfect all the time, but interesting to see they've stuck with her today. They obviously feel like she's an important player for them in the qualifiers, and they want to get her an extra game under her belt.
It was on the whole a much better performance from Pakistan. I thought they batted really nicely. Is there anyone in particular who stood out for you? There was lots of little scores, wasn't there? Munib Ali, Shawal Zulfikar, the 20-year-old who came in, she played well too. Yeah,
we've spoken about Munib Ali quite a bit, and she seems to be the linchpin at the top of the order. Similar to the first game, there was quite a lot of good scores, but not really match-winning scores that they probably needed, a 60 or a 70 to get them 190, 200, because the way they started, that power play they had really set them up nicely, and they'll be disappointed with how they finished. And it's different in a chase today, of course, but they certainly have batters in form that will look to take it into today's game.
Izzy, this streak that Ireland women are on, it's quite remarkable, isn't it? 9 games in a row. Are they thinking about this streak? Are they thinking about 3-0 and then a qualifier ahead? Who knows? If they go unbeaten there, it could be 16 on the bench.
Yeah, I don't think it's something that they'll be thinking about. And one of the things I think that comes out for me is, like, who are you playing against? Obviously, yes, England and Sri Lanka last year, they tied both those series. It really shows they weren't in the World Cup because they haven't been playing those top-level nations. That being said, they are playing teams ahead of them. Yes, plenty below them. But yeah, I don't think it's something they'll worry about. Maybe once they get past 10 or they see some kind of record. I know you talked about, was it Germany a few years ago at some qualifiers? They had some kind of 14-game streak. But
yeah, well, Thailand women are the ones who hold the overall world record, and Uganda right now in the men's side, 17 on the bench.
Yeah.
So it is within touching distance.
Yeah,
Today, a big game.
Yeah, it's a big game for loads of reasons, and I think it's, can they close it out, and can they tactically be better than Pakistan were the other day, who I think messed things up really. Even just if you think about the end they finished from the last game, incredible. Sadia Iqbal bowling with the short boundary over her shoulder. I just can't believe that happened. So I just wonder, will Ireland think about that and learn from it?
Just give you those 2 changes, one for each side. We're going to see Wahid Akhtar come into the side for Pakistan. Sidra Amin missing out, maybe a bit of a surprise. Andy, what about this change for Ireland? We're seeing Freya Sargent on her home ground coming in, but maybe not in terms of who we would expect to miss out. Jane Maguire, the hero the other day, isn't playing today.
Yeah, maybe she's still up in the clouds after her finish the other day. But yeah, I think Freya Sargent's a really impressive off-spinner. She hasn't played a T20 international since Sylhet in Bangladesh, so this is her home ground. She knows conditions well, and that's what, like Izzy said, this is the sort of game that can easily go past you because you're 2-0 up, but it's a very important game for so many reasons, no more so than Freya Sargent back in the squad.
Yeah.
Izzy, I'm keeping track of your predictions. Are you none from 2 in this series? Who are you going for
so,
today?
Yeah. I better not go for Ireland if you want to win 3-0. Yeah, no, I back Pakistan to win 1.
Okay, Pakistan to come back. Andy, what about you? You're going for the greenwash or the whitewash?
I'm going for a sweep, Ireland 3-0.
Okay, could well be Ireland 3-0. You can see the teams just getting out for the anthems. We're all set for the third and final time. Let's go and take them in.
Ladies and gentlemen, if able. We begin with Pakistan. Ladies and gentlemen, Ireland's call.
big occasion for Ireland, an opportunity to beat Pakistan 3-0 on home soil. Yes, they've beaten Pakistan in a bilateral series before. That was 3 years ago in Lahore, but it was 2-1 on that occasion. Ireland will be keen to make it 3-0, the whitewash. Pakistan, though, arrived at the ground earlier in fine fettle. There's plenty of smiles. They seem to be relaxed. And I suppose they've got nothing to lose here. They can go out and play with freedom. They'll be bowling first, as they did on the first day. Ireland will be hoping to do a little bit better than they did in the first match of the series when they posted 142, but they were all out on that occasion. And Pakistan, they'll be hoping to keep Ireland, I imagine, under 150. High-scoring game last time out. Pakistan batting first, 168 for 6, but it was chased down on the final ball. Good crowd in here on a Sunday afternoon. It is starting to get a little bit warmer, and yeah, if you are down, you need your jumper and your sunscreen. I hope you've got both. Celeste Rack alongside me.
It's one of those typical days here in the Irish summer where when the sun's out, it's beautiful, but when it gets a little bit chilly, you certainly feel the cold. Pakistan there, as you mentioned, they look like they're in good spirits. They looked like they had a lot of energy in their warm-up today. They didn't carry that sadness and disappointment from the last game by the looks of things with them. So they'll be hoping to continue what they showed everyone with the bat last game. And they want to perform a little bit better with the ball today.
Change in the team for Pakistan. Are you surprised to see Sidra Amin go out?
I am. She didn't really get an opportunity last game as the other Islander ready to go out to the two batters there.
And the two umpires as well, Johnny Kennedy and Gareth Morrison in today. Yeah, so sorry, the change in the team, Celeste Sidra Amin going out, Wahida Akhtar in, the medium fast bowler.
I'm not surprised to see Asima enter the lineup. I was thinking it would potentially be Diana Baig with her experience. However, they did lack Asima, I felt, in the last game.
Yeah. Well, a few other milestones, along with Gabby Lewis making her 100th T20 international appearance. She needs just 6 runs to reach 2,500 runs, which will be a nice milestone for her. Laura Delaney batted well the other day. She needs 24 runs to reach 1,500. Pakistan being put into the field. Gabby Lewis, the Irish captain, winning her first toss of the series. Tough for Pakistan being on a tour away from home, 2-0 down in the series. How do they go about changing things up, do you think?
It's tough, and it's a quick turnaround with just one day in between. Fatima Masana said that they would have opted to bat if they were to win the toss themselves. They were quite pleased with the score that they managed to post. But yeah, it's a tough turnaround, and especially to lose as they did in that fashion.
Yeah. Arlene Kelly, of course, is 50th T20 international today, so a nice moment for her as well. And in fact, a game where she'll be desperate to put on a performance, the Ireland medium pace bowler, but it's going to be the batters who have an opportunity first. Amy Hunter, who was so impressive on the first day, she was really entertaining is the word that comes to mind. 37 from 30, but it was the manner in which she went about things that was so impressive, wasn't it?
And that's what we're seeing from Amy Hunter more and more as she grows into her maturity at that opening spot. She is really going in an attacking fashion. She's made that spot her own.
Do you think that makes things easier for Gabby Lewis? Because Gabby Lewis kind of generally, especially at the start of her innings, she plays the ball as she sees it rather than like Amy Hunter getting inventive and premeditating shots.
I think it's certainly an advantage. It would put a lot of pressure on Gabby Lewis if she was opening with someone who took their time early on. The power play is so important, as we've seen in the women's game, and Amy Hunter allows Gabby Lewis the freedom to bat exactly how she wants to bat.
So Fatima Masana, the captain, will have the first over. She's bowling from the LP Hughes end. It was something I touched on in the pre-show, Celeste, where I couldn't believe that Pakistan had set things up to bowl their final over from this end because it's so short straight, about 50 metres. So they're opening from that end this time. Third and square out. Bit of shape and no ball straight away. He must have overstepped. It's down the hill there, so you can sometimes find it difficult to stay behind the line if you're not used to conditions here at Clontarf Cricket Club.
It is a bit of a change, isn't it, running down the hill? But I agree with you that Fatima Sana should be taking the end with the short boundary straight. It puts the spinners under a lot more pressure with such a short straight boundary to these two.
Well, there's a lot of spinners as well, so you need any seamers you have in the team, you need them to be operating from this end, really. If you're Pakistan, Sadi Iqbal won't want to bowl from that end anytime soon, the world #1 T20 international bowler. So free hit, Amy Hunter able to get things up and running. What will she go for? Goes for the big heave leg side. It's going to be the first 6 of the match. Ireland up and running just the way they finished the last match. They start the next with a 6.
And that's the dream for Amy Hunter, having a free hit off the first ball of the match. She had, I'm sure in her head, she had a pretty clear plan to Fatima Sana to go square, and even with the fielder out there, it's still the right option for her. She's so strong.
Yeah, well, of course, she wouldn't have been able to get caught, would she, because of the free hit, so it was a good option. She didn't have to worry about the fielder, hit it well enough, and there was fielding done, but by a spectator. Another no ball. The turnaround and stare from Fatima Sana. She's going to, I'm sure, ask the umpire, Johnny Kennedy, where she's landing. She's having to measure it out again. I'm sure she would have taken the measuring tape out before the game.
I'm sure she would have, and sometimes as a bowler it can be so hard when that gets into your head, and now all that she's probably going to be thinking of is the front foot rather than what she's trying to execute.
Better execution on that occasion from Sana for the free hit. I'm just looking at the notes here. It's northeast, isn't it? Down towards the LP Hughes end. It's 59 metres. And the other end is southwest, 63 metres. So only 4 metres in the difference.
It looks a lot different.
It looks a lot further, doesn't it? Only 4 metres makes a huge difference.
I do think even just psychologically, knowing that an end is longer does play with your mind, even if geographically it's not that much different.
Just to stay behind the line, so just a regular delivery. It's been all go in this opening over. What Pakistan really can't afford is their premier seamer to have a bad day. She wasn't as good in the second match, 1 for 37 in her 4 as compared to 4 for 26, her career best in the first game of the series. She came back and kind of put the brakes on the Irish batting lineup. Really full and back down the ground. They won't take the single. Iman, they're doing the tidying up, I think it is.
It's a handy length to Amy Hunter.
Yeah.
Really, really full. But just on Fatima Sana with the ball, she plays a similar role that Orla Prendergast plays for Ireland, and when Orla Prendergast bowls well, Ireland's innings is set up so well, and it's hard for Pakistan if Fatima Sana doesn't play that role.
Yeah, she's bowling very full to Amy Hunter, who might be thinking about a ramp right about now. Yes, it's early in the game, but she's so good at it, and with Sana bowling so full, it's difficult to get any hands through the ball. Off the pad. Good stop behind the stumps from Muniba Ali. So from a batting point of view, we've obviously seen a couple of different games, Celeste, which is the first game Ireland managed to defend 142. The second game, Pakistan unable to defend 168. So if you're Ireland, before you head out, what kind of numbers do you have on your mind?
I think after seeing the way Pakistan batted in game 2, they'll feel like they need to get as many runs as possible and bowl well. So they're probably looking at 170 to put the game out of doubt. But they'll feel that they're in with a shot of defending, say, 155 plus if they bowl well. Would you agree with that?
I absolutely would. 5 dots to close out that over after a no ball and then a 6 and another no ball. So good finish, you'd have to say, from Fatima Sana. 8 for naught after 1 hour Ireland. Yeah, I think one of the things that Ireland will know is that they didn't bowl their best the other day. They don't have Jane Maguire to open the bowling today, so I think it'll probably have to be Ava Canning with the new ball. They do have, unless they decide to go with Freya Sargent with the new ball.
Which is a lot of pressure on a spinner coming back into the side. So she's a very experienced campaigner for a woman of 19, but yeah, it's a tough role to come in with the new ball.
Gabby Lewis has been watching from the other end. Needs just 8 to get to 2,500. Sadia Iqbal with ball in hand. The left arm spinner is so good at adjusting her speeds. Starts with a shortish one outside off. Threads the gap, does Gabby Lewis. Elegant to the nth degree. And the Ireland captain off the mark with a boundary. 6 runs she needs, in fact, to get to 2,500. She'll only need 2 more after that one.
She's so strong when she's given width, Gabby Lewis. That's a ball she would have really wanted to face first ball of her innings to get the innings underway.
Just slightly straighter and maybe a little bit fuller from Iqbal. I like that she played that with a straight bat.
She gets back a long way. She gets very deep in her crease and she creates a length that's even shorter than what it was bowled.
That one's also short, but doesn't manage to find the gap there. Yeah, so often you see in the women's game in particular, if there's any kind of width, people go with the horizontal bat when the straight bat is probably better because you can adjust based on how much it bounces. Clip leg side just with the drift in that Iqbal gets so well. She generally bowls into the right-hander, not a huge amount to turn away, especially not on this pitch. We haven't seen much turn.
There's a very nice change of pace from Iqbal there, much quicker through the air.
It'd be good to have a speed gun, wouldn't it? See her going up and down.
She probably have the most variance of all the spinners in what she can bowl.
Hunter now goes for the pull shot onto the back foot so quickly. Good power, and that won't be cut off by the fielder in the deep. Ireland in a mood.
It was brilliantly played from Hunter. She uses her feet really well. She gets back in the crease, and she's not the tallest player, which allows her to really get that bottom hand through, get under.
I was a little bit nervous when I saw her going back there, but she played with quite a straight bat again, so she was in position if it had skidded through a little bit. Look out for the arm ball now. There it is, but just the length not right. Pervez in the deep, it goes straighter to her, so they'll just get the 1. And Sadia Iqbal's opening over goes for 10. 2 overs gone. Ireland 18 without loss. A little bit less invention from Amy Hunter today, maybe because she's got more balls she can pounce upon. She doesn't have to kind of get in position to lap or to ramp.
I think you're right. Starting off with a free hit that went for 6 gets you ahead of the rate, and she's not under much pressure.
Sana continuing. She dances down. They will get a single. Good placement from Hunter.
That's something in Amy Hunter's game that I've been really impressed with, and it is something that's carried on from what Ed Joyce taught a lot, being able to get off strike. Sure, Hunter can play the shot she did to hit the 6 and then hit the 4 in the last over, but she doesn't accumulate many dots.
Yeah, so key. It's not just about your strike rate, it's about your scoring rate, your dot ball percentage or your scoring shot percentage. Gabby Lewis, who was bowled by Fatima Sana in the first game. She has 2,499 runs in T20 internationals right now. And 100 T20 international games. It would be lovely for her to get to 2,500. We'd love her to see her go on, but for that moment, in 100 games, being at 2,500 runs.
It's very impressive. And to think that she was only 13 when she debuted.
Yeah, she'd be averaging exactly 25 if you don't count the times she's carried her bat, obviously. There it is, 2,500. She'll get to 2,501 at least if it doesn't go all the way, but it does. The outfield is so quick here at Clontarf. It's a real teaser for Elia Riaz in the deep. Boundaries coming thick and fast for Ireland.
That looked like it was going to be a 2 at best, and it's raced away here, Clontarf. Almost cut off by mid-wicket there. The chase was on. Well played by Lewis to bring up the milestone.
Ramin Shamim diving to her left. She's a right arm bowler, so it's her weaker side, but it just had enough pace to get past her. And through the offside this time, off the outside half of the bat, but got enough of it, did Gabby Lewis, for back-to-back boundaries.
Another 4, 2 consecutive 4s. Gabby Lewis, outside edge there, bottom hands come off the bat, but she'll be delighted with the result. 4 runs to her name.
Yeah, battling now to get out of the over. Is Fatima Sana. Just taking her time at the top of her mark. Wasn't a bad ball, really, that last one. And you could see by the way that Gabby Lewis reacted after it hit the bat. She wasn't comfortable. So sometimes as a bowler, the luck just doesn't go your way. You're bowling in the power play as well, just 2 out. You'd imagine for Gabby Lewis, if it was outside the power play, you'd have a cover out for her. So it's not an easy job, bowling in the power play.
It's not at all, and if she bowled that same ball to Amy Hunter, it would be a great ball. Gabby Lewis's reach is so long. She loves hitting the ball through cover.
Full and straight, and a field set for that delivery. 3 overs gone. Ireland going at 9s, 27 without loss. In the last game, we saw the off-spinner Ramin Shamim come on for the 4th over. We're going to see the same again. She was hit around that first over, wasn't she? Gabby Lewis hit her for a couple of boundaries, but then she came back really well and took 2 wickets and 2 balls. She got, I think it was Lewis, wasn't it? And
it was a very impressive comeback from her. Yeah, it was. She got Lewis and Prendergast.
she got Lewis and Paul, wasn't it, in 2 balls?
Lewis and Paul,
and
then later on.
Yeah.
Yep. Which you'd be happy with those 3 wickets as a return.
Yeah, it is a funny thing, isn't it? Oh, it's Wahida Akhtar, actually. The off-spinner being held back. She'll be happy enough not to have to bowl inside the power play. Not yet, anyway. She might be replacing Fatima Sana down the other end. Wahida Akhtar, who's into the team today. Gentle, medium pace. Good fielding. Excellent in extra cover. Natalia Pravez, who's been impressive in this tour, batted well by and large.
She's had a great series and was called upon to bowl the 1 over yesterday. Didn't exactly go the way she wanted, but yeah, huge position of responsibility bowling as a second seamer.
Oh, a little bit of shape away. And classic Amy Hunter, a little dab down to 3rd. She's so good at that shot. Gets set up for a more expansive shot, but when it's not there, she's able to adjust, isn't she?
She is, and it makes her really hard to bowl to, because even your good ball, she's always getting off strike, so there's always one there, and then she is so destructive off the back foot and hitting square and inventive hitting behind the wicket.
Keep her up to the stumps. That's the kind of pace that we're talking about here. Edged and through the gloves. That's the danger if you're up to the stumps. Keeps Gabby Lewis in the crease but can't stop the boundary. And it doesn't matter how you get them. It's another 4 for Lewis.
And Pakistan will be disappointed with that. They've really wanted chances here. Lewis has been so dominant. But difficult chance for the keeper up to the stumps.
Yeah, she's never catching that. You need to slip in if you're hoping to take that wicket. Could they be brave and bring the third up and go for the wicket-taking option? It's what I think Ireland would do. They talked about trying to take wickets early on, and the keeper up to the stumps means she won't really stray. She won't come down the pitch. She won't be able to take her guard outside the crease, but it just means that she's not worried about the edge. That one's too short. That's fodder. Gabby Lewis is never going to miss out on that pressure early on the player that's come in today, Wahida Akhtar. Back-to-back boundaries.
That's just a line and length that you can't bowl to Gabby Lewis in the power play. She's strayed both line and length. Gabby Lewis is able to get her hands through, and there's no fielder out there in the deep. But as I say that, they are making a change, and cover is going out. Third is coming in.
Yeah, this is a better field for a bowler at this pace. Needs to figure out her length. Much better. There's the edge, and that's intentional from Lewis. She knew that third had come up inside the ring. Just pushes the bat at it, allows the ball to hit the edge, and gets 3 4s on the bounce.
Part of the reason we see spinners bowling in the power play so often is because that you can't use the pace of the ball like Gabby Lewis has here. With only 2 fielders out, it's so hard to defend when players can hit 360. So very clever batting there from Lewis.
Yeah, I just can't understand this field. Why have square leg out? She's a military medium pace. She's got the keeper up to the stumps, bowl full. Have the field out in the offside. Make sure you get hit for 1. Strays onto the leg stump. That's a good shot from Lewis. A little punch to mid-on. And really, Pakistan struggling. 17 from that over. I don't think she'll bowl another one in the power play. We shall see. 4 overs gone. Ireland 41 without loss. Bit of a gamble, wasn't it? Bowling her in the power play, and I don't think it's paid off really.
It was tough for her first over in this series. But just thinking it's interesting with the keeper up. Gabby Lewis is someone who loves to play from the crease. I don't see the keeper being up being of much consequence to her, really.
She does like coming down the pitch, I suppose. But yeah, I don't think it's a good move, to be honest. I mean, we saw that last shot where she's intentionally edged it. I mean, after the first edge, would the keeper consider going back? But after that, if she does bowl, again, especially inside the power play. Sadia Iqbal, the left arm spinner, changing ends. She'll have nightmares about bowling from this end from the last game. The final delivery was, truth be told, a poor delivery, but Jane Maguire hit it for 6. Gabby Lewis straight on the sweep. Nobody out there. There is someone out there blending in. Square leg on the boundary, so it'll just be 1. Yeah, the 2 fielders out, square leg and mid wicket. And she's kneeling down having a drink, so you can barely see her at square leg there. You definitely can track it with your eyesight.
No, I was with you, and she's amongst green.
Fine touch, but well anticipated in 45 there.
Gabby Lewis used to only sweep on line, usually. We see her sweeping a little bit more now. Square leg out is interesting.
There's another sweep, but goes straight to that fielder again. So I think Sadia Iqbal's gone straight into defending mode, isn't she? Because she'll know how to do that. They play the big nations quite often, Pakistan, especially India, because they have the Asia Cup as well. So they're well used to getting into that mode, but I think they weren't maybe expecting it quite so much on this tour. Quick and into the pads and finally played. This will run away as well. Good stuff from Gabby Lewis. She knows that Iqbal, looking to use the drift in rather than the turn away, uses that and hits yet another boundary.
That's a lovely fine touch from Gabby Lewis with that angle. That fielder at 45 is very much in the game. Very well played in the end.
Better line, just slightly straighter from Iqbal there. She doesn't want to stray from leg stump with the field she has set. No third, she's got 5 on the leg side, so she doesn't want to give Lewis any space. She is good at the reverse sweep, Lewis, but very difficult to play that shot against Iqbal. Finds the gap between the two fielders in the deep. Will they come back for the second? Opt against it. Good decision, I think. The fielding was good. So 5 overs gone, with 1 over to go in the power play. Ireland 48 without loss.
Let him. Well, a fantastic start for Ireland, who really excelled here in the power play. Much more like it from them. Probably not at their best in their first 2 games, despite holding that 2-0 unassailable series lead as of right now. And right from the off, Fatima Sana, who changed ends to bowl her first overs from the LP Hughes end of the ground, overstepped twice in that opening over. Johnny Kennedy eagle-eyed. And it looks as though Pakistan are going to change again. Wahid Akhtar, who bowled just that solitary over, very expensive. They'll go to spin. It will be Rameem Shamim to come into the attack from the City end. This one's come off the glove, so won't be given out to LBW. Andrew Leonard here. I'm delighted to have the current Irish men's test captain joining me. That's Andy Balbirnie. Andy, firstly, very good afternoon to you. This is an exceptional start for Ireland.
Afternoon, Len. Afternoon to you all. Yeah, probably something that's just they've lacked the first 2 games is this big opening partnership.
Power sweep shot from Lewis and gets it far enough behind square to beat the sweeper out there. Can only be watched go past Sadia Iqbal. Ireland exemplary. The 50 partnership comes up in real style thanks to the captain who's celebrating her 100th T20I appearance.
Brilliant shot there, just drifted slightly down leg side. Gabby Lewis gets into such a powerful position, great head position, even with those 2 fielders out on the leg side boundary. And just going back to the opening partnership, we speak about T20 cricket and the power hitters you need in the middle order and that sort of thing. Having a solid opening partnership sets everything up for you as a batting unit. So this is a great start from Hunter and Prendergast, and Lewis, should I say.
Yeah, Prendergast to come, of course, as well. A few selection issues, I think, personally, for Pakistan. Surprised to see no Diana Baig. Maybe the bigger surprise is no Sidra Amin. It's almost as though they're kind of using this 3rd and final match of the tour as, well, just a freebie to give a bit of experience to some of the younger members. Another big appeal. This time it's given. And the finger went up immediately. Lewis looks a little disconsolate, to say the least. In and around the glove, maybe that front pad. What's it made contact with first? Well, whatever the case, the replay's not going to matter too much. The finger's gone up, and it's again Ramin who makes the breakthrough.
Yeah, it's a shot Lewis tried. First ball of the over. She really doesn't look happy. We'll get a replay here, but it's a strong shot for Gabby Lewis. Not much spin again on this wicket. Third time it's being used. Yeah, I mean, it looks like there's a bit of glove, but it's hard to tell from that angle. You can just tell you can always tell from the batter's reaction if you've hit it or not. But that first wicket is badly needed for Pakistan, and great time to get it just before the end of the power play.
You do feel a bit for the umpire, because the noise for Gareth Morrison will have, I think, been a similar one to the padding, the gloves and the pad. The sound's going to be almost the exact same. I don't think it's come off the bat. I just wonder, has it come off the glove of Lewis? And that's why she was so disconsolate. There was an appeal earlier in the over that looked, well, very similar. Probably even a question of, even if it's not glove, has it got Lewis in line or not? There's a lot going on here. I think that indication would be that there's glove. Lewis couldn't believe it, but credit to her, she's turned and walked off, and that is the first wicket. Maybe exactly what Pakistan needed, as Prendergast comes to the crease and middles that one. Good diving stop at mid-wicket. It will end the power play. 52 for 1, Ireland on top, but a much needed breakthrough for Pakistan.
Yeah, and Orla Prendergast in really good form. Player of the match in the first game. Could easily have got player of the match in the second game. So having someone in such good form coming in at this time of the innings. But like you say, Lenny, I think getting a wicket just before the power play, when you can then breathe a little and expand your field a little. It's still a good power play for Ireland, don't get me wrong, but great time to get that first one.
And just for the viewers watching on, maybe some viewers tasting international cricket live on the Cricket Ireland YouTube channel, back on Top Mad there in Pakistan. Good evening to all of our Pakistani viewers. One of the big differences, it's a really significant one between the men's and women's game. The circle is a slightly different length, so it's a 25-yard inner fielding circle rather than a 30-yard. But also the critical difference, only 4 fielders allowed outside the 25-yard circle for the remaining 14 overs, whereas in the men's game there's 5. So there's always gaps for the likes of Hunter and Prendergast to target. This one's helped around the corner. Maybe could have taken the single on. We spoke a bit, Andy, didn't we, in the pre-match build-up, as to how Ireland probably haven't been at their best. This is more like what you'd expect from the top 3.
Yeah, and it's a sign of a really good team and a strong team. They're playing not their best cricket, but winning games.
Incredible to think 9 on the bounce, isn't it? Real chance to make it 10. The nerds, the statisticians like me will be going, well, hold on, win today. A 6-match qualification series. Yes, you have to respect the opposition in Netherlands, Italy and Germany, but you would back yourself to certainly continue your winning streak over there. And the all-time record in history, that belongs to the Thai women's side and the Uganda men's side, both 17 consecutive wins in this format. Ireland may be thinking of extending their record-breaking streak if they can get it done today. What would you be thinking as the partnership comes together here, Andy? These overs, 6 to 11, 6 to 12, they have their own rhythm and flow in T20 cricket.
Yeah, they do, but these two players are such good stroke makers. I don't expect them to drop down a gear at all, particularly the way Hunter's been playing the last couple of games.
But what are the key aspects of batting in this period? Is it hitting those sweepers hard? Is it trying to find a boundary and over? What are you trying to do?
Yeah, certainly, like you mentioned earlier, the fielding restrictions being slightly different, having that, there's no protection on the offside here for left arm spinner. She's got to be so accurate that Amy Hunter will be thinking of things like that. She backs her sweep no matter what the field. We've seen that over the course of the week.
And it is that sweep, just as you talk about it. Only a slight erring in line and expertly put away. That's a fine stroke. Shot of the day so far for me. Beautifully played.
I think it's really good batting as well, because we spoke about that fielder not being on the offside, so naturally as a left arm spinner it's going to drift into that leg stump, and Hunter can just back herself, full extension of the arms, a good bit behind square, and it's a great shot. Really good option for her.
Clever manipulation of the angle, because I don't think the line was even that poor, was it? Just got a good stride outside her off stump and got it around the corner, and a few tweaks to the field. That fielder at a deep backward square just coming a little finer. And that's a poor delivery. Pressure applied by that boundary, and now it's going to be freebies. It should be at least 3 runs to the total. Prendergast thinking of getting back for a third. She won't. 2 runs and the wide, 3 more go on to Ireland's score. Now, big appeal here, maybe just angling down. Difficult for us to tell from a reverse angle. That looked close enough.
Yeah, just took a bit of pace off that ball, last ball of the over. Another good over for Ireland, particularly that first over out of the power play. You want to make sure that you continue the momentum that you've built in that first 6. So Ireland will be really happy with this start, particularly having lost the captain in the last over.
Yeah, that's the potential batting lineup for Ireland, obviously not set in stone. We've tended to see them persist with that Ava Canning at 7. And of course the hero from the other day, amazing statistic, Andy, I don't know if you saw this one on social media floating around after the fantastic finish on Friday. With that boundary from the final delivery, it was a 6 of course, even though it was only the 4 runs to win. Jane Maguire became the first cricketer, international, men's or women's, to hit their very first delivery and sole delivery for a boundary to win a game off the final delivery of the innings. So Jane Maguire has herself into those history books. Could you believe that finish the other day? It was quite extraordinary.
I mean, it was amazing. I was fortunate enough to actually be outside the commentary box, and the noise it made from the bat, you know as a batter when it hits the middle, and that ball came straight off the middle. I know it wasn't the best ball we saw all day, but it still has to be put away, and credit to Jane Maguire. Is an amazing way to finish a match.
It was also a slightly surreal way to finish the match, because we had 4 wickets during the day fall to full tosses, including one to young Laura McBride that was a very similar delivery. But the difference and the brilliance of, I know it was only one delivery, but the brilliance of what Jane Maguire did was she hit it straight. If she's tried to hit that square, it could well have been caught in the deep.
100%. It's a big boundary out there. She targeted the smallest boundary in the ground, and it was a great shot, amazing shot of the day.
It wasn't just the shot, the emotions afterwards. There was real passion and joy from the crowd. Lots of friends and family about it. It was very special.
Very special. And I think as cricket lovers, you can appreciate those sort of wins when sometimes you're down and out, you build a partnership and you get over the line like that. There's nothing like it.
Nicely played. They'll think of a second here because it's well wide of long off. He does well to keep it to just the one. All your playing career, do you ever remember a short cameo like that? Not a century or a big innings, but something maybe, whether it's at Middlesex or at Pembroke or for the Leinster Lightning or now the Warriors, where you just did a very short knock, but it was very impactful. You're going to have to go deep to the memory bank, I suspect.
I haven't been involved in too many 6 off the last ball to win. I do remember Stuart Pointer doing it in Oman. I think it was around 2019 or 2018 against the Dutch.
It was against the Dutch.
It's special. I mean, it's just what a way to finish a game, having been there for the whole day.
Nicely guided through the gap. Hunter continues to look really impressive. She's an elegant stroke maker. Had the benefit of a bit of a free start thanks to those free hits. Well, that's an expert stroke at any level. T20, ODI or Test match, pierces the gap beautifully.
It's just a testament to the skill that Amy Hunter has at her disposal, that we know how good a sweeper she is. Pakistan clearly know how good a sweeper she is. So whether it's a plan to push it a bit wider, but it gives her that freedom to throw her hands, and it's such an elegant shot, like you say, Lenny. The outfield has been quick all week, and she times it perfectly through the boundary for 4. Great way to finish the over.
Yeah, never tried to overhit at any point, just used all of her timing and quality. The other game that I'll remember, just to touch on those kind of final ball finishes, was an Ireland-Pakistan match here. Don't think you would have been in the team yet, or you might have already debuted, but you might not have been in the 11 that day. Ireland against Pakistan, really big crowd back in 2013 in the men's game. And Ireland looked dead and buried, but Kevin O'Brien hit the last ball for 4 as a misfield is going to allow a second here. They think of a third, they won't go back for it. That was back before we had the super overs in play, so I think both sides just walked off and shook hands on a tie. 6 to win, 4 to tie. And Kevin O'Brien finished with 80 or 90 not out to get Ireland a famous tie. There's a great history between these two sides. Whenever Ireland and Pakistan play at any level, tends to be very well contested. And in recent times, Ireland have gone pretty well, haven't they, against Pakistan?
Yeah, they have, and like you said, I think if you look at the there's a huge amount of history in Irish cricket, but in recent history, that 2007 game against Pakistan in the men's game kind of put everyone in Irish cricket on the map, and we've gone from strength to strength ever since.
And in terms of the women's game, of course, as Prendergast is sent back rightly, she'll comfortably get home. That first and historic and only ever test match that the Irish women's side have played at College Park. Ireland gave Pakistan quite the beating. Pretty sure Isabel Joyce was in that team, one of our co-commentators today. I love the relationship, the closeness of that cricketing relationship between the two countries. I've been lucky enough to be out there twice, once for that bilateral tour and then more recently for the women's qualifiers. Ooh, a little bit of fortune here comes off the top edge. It's a wonderful country, somewhere you haven't played yet. Andy, would you like to go there?
Love to go. The passion you see, even when we were fortunate to play down here last year in the T20 series, you're going to see the passion they have for the game, and I think the women have been there recent enough for their qualifiers, and they've experienced it and reported back how good it's been. And yeah, somewhere that I'd love to tour before my days are at an end. My cricket days.
Not going to write you off just yet. I was going to say, good tight over this. Nashra Sandhu, she hasn't hit the headlines in terms of the wicket taking, but she's been very economical this series.
Yeah, it's been a good over. Only 4 coming from it. It's really accurate. If it wasn't for that misfield as well, it could have even been better.
Yeah, 1 for 21 and none for 18 in her 2 4-over spells thus far. Economical again here, just keeping Ireland in check. 9 have been bowled, 72 for 1. Nice to see the extra seamer in for Pakistan today. I'm still a bit befuddled, being honest with you, Andy, about the lack and the absence of Diana Baig with all of her experience. Did have a chat to her after the second T20I. She said, despite historically having had plenty of injury problems, she's fully fit, and it's just a selection issue. You do wonder, are Pakistan maybe treating aspects of this tour, because so much of their focus will now go on to the ODI game and the 50-over World Cup that they will play at. They'll be in Sri Lanka. The rest of the tournament will be in India, but they'll have 7 matches to look forward to there. Swept around the corner, but straight to the fielder. You just wonder, are they using this for a bit of experimentation?
Yeah, I think, going 2-0 down in series is never ideal, but like you said, what can you get out of this game? Is it experience into other players and you leave a bit of experience on the bench? I'm fine with that as long as it's still a strong team to try to win an international.
Both Sidra Amin and Diana Baig have been absolute mainstays for the last decade plus, as Pendergast shows her exceptional athleticism to get back comfortably for 2. I was driving up today, something we always talk about, the importance of the commercial partners. We've seen those CERTA billboards all over the city. Orla Prendergast very much features in all of those. Great to see that.
Yeah, brilliant. And that's the sort of stuff that will get people into the game from a young age, and I think CERTA are doing an amazing job with their campaigns, and it's just refreshing to see cricket all over the billboards around Dublin.
I was coming up from a slightly different angle from West Wicklow today, and massive one just as the N7 turns into the M50. Orla Prendergast up there, gigantic horizontal billboard, find your edge, inspiring the next generation. And she is very much one of the poster women of this Irish side. Great to watch. She's been exceptional all series, very much in the reckoning for that Player of the Series award, you'd imagine. Bat and ball. Shamim's impressed you? She's just done a really good job with her off breaks.
Yeah, they've pulled it back the last couple of overs and put a bit of a squeeze on a couple of overs since the last boundary, and you always sense with Orla that you're never too far away from a boundary option. But yeah, like you say, Lenny, really tight. Not much spin again, 3rd time on this pitch, but just accuracy.
Great placement. That mid-wicket is very, very straight indeed, and picking up one of the strong zones. Prendergast could have got that square. She might have got 4. Instead, it nearly brought about a run-out chance. Cutaway finds the gap. Pressure's built up, but Prendergast finds the boundary. It felt as though Ireland kind of needed that. The last 3 or 4 overs have probably belonged to Pakistan, but that's a fine stroke. Outstanding use of her feet. The forward press initially, then going deep in the crease, cutting it away, and it races to the rope. End of the 10th. It's 79 for 1. Bit of quick farewell to Andy Balbirnie, and Celeste Rack will come and join me. Celeste, good afternoon to you. We've been a bit critical of Ireland over the first 2 games, despite winning both of their matches. They feel like they're playing a much more complete game thus far, at least in these first 10 overs.
They do. They've started off really well here, and with these 2 in the 10th over, with 10 gone, 79 for 1, you can't help but think they've built a great platform.
does it speak volumes for the, I suppose, the overall quality of this Irish side that despite winning the first 2 games, all 4 of us have kind of found significant areas and rooms for improvement for them?
It's great for Ireland, and a few years ago they would have had to play their best game to beat Pakistan. And now, after winning 2, you can see that they're still not at their very best. There hasn't been a huge score made other than Prendergast's 50 in the last game. There's still a lot left in the tank that they can show in these qualifiers coming up.
Sandhu continues to be very economical. I've been impressed with her. Prendergast comes down the track and, well, beautifully finds the gap long off and long on or out. But she goes straight between them. 1 bounce, 4 more.
It's a brilliant shot from Orla Prendergast. And she's so dangerous when she moves her feet. You might think at the start of her innings she can start off a little innocuous. She just pushes the ball around. It's quite understated, but it doesn't take long for a shot like that to come out.
Really is having a wonderful series. Just described her as one of the poster women of the game here in Ireland, and very much in terms of a global stage, more and more so. For those listening on from back home, Celeste, who might not know you, they'll probably can hear that little Australian twang you still have. Played a lot of cricket down there.
It's an accent that you don't fully lose.
No, despite trying.
It's certainly softened, but...
Well, let me just ask you, in terms of Australia are absolutely the flag bearer, the best women's side in the world for probably several decades now, particularly across multiple formats. What would the opinion be of Australian cricketers about the likes of Hunter and Prendergast and Lewis? Are they impressed by the talent in Ireland?
Certainly, and we've seen Kim Garth has managed to make the Australian side, and Prendergast would be as complete a cricketer.
Julia Price is someone who's a very good friend of yours, a former women's captain. She knows Ireland well. She's spoken to me about the quality of these players. They get to the end of the 11th, 85 for 1.
Yeah, Orla Prendergast I think she's as good as anyone in the world. It is harder to, in my opinion, to play for a lower ranked country as well. So she's always had a lot of pressure on her with the ball, with the bat, to perform, and she's just gone from strength to strength. It's great to see that she's had a few less injury concerns with the ball as well. A lot of people worldwide know her as a batter, but I've always known her as a bowler who bats really well as well. So it's great to see that she's able to show everyone what she can do with both bat and ball. She's had a great season so far.
Her consistency with the bat this year in the home summer has been remarkable. Her last 6 innings before today, 52, 24 not out, 50, 67 not out, 29, and then 51 just 2 days ago as Wahida comes back into the attack. Looks at complete ease and comfort with her game currently. We haven't, with the exception of Kim Garth, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think we've seen an Irish women's cricketer play in the Women's Premier League yet in India. Is Prendergast or maybe Amy Hunter going to be the first one?
I think both of them would be great signings for any team, and they're both brilliant cricketers, and now they're getting more exposure. There's more matches. Everything is televised or live streamed now. There is more opportunity for people like Prendergast and Hunter to get seen in India and all around the world and get contracts in those franchises.
Did see Prendergast, I think it was for the Adelaide Strikers, wasn't it, down in the Women's Big Bash last year. Is that really the next step in the evolution for these players, get into the biggest and best franchise leagues in the women's game?
I think definitely, and there has been a close eye on Prendergast from Australia. A lot of people are talking about her, and she's, with her consistency and what she's been able to show this season, she's a huge factor when we look at Ireland's success in recent months, with the impressive run of wins that they've had. The constant has been that Prendergast has scored runs and taken wickets in every single game.
Possibly the most exciting thing as well, she's just 23. You imagine her best cricket still in front of her, still ahead of her. And yeah, it's just lovely to see such a burgeoning star, born and bred here in Ireland. Learnt all her cricket. Oh, is this one is going to be the end of Hunter. Just skid it on a touch as Hunter exposes her stumps, and a good comeback from Wahida. Well, she's had to wait till her 3rd game to get her go in this series, and a big smile on her face. She's deserved that.
great wicket there from Wahida, and it's what her team needed. It's a crucial time. These two are really starting to get going with this partnership. She had a tough first over, came on, they attacked her, and she has done really well to dismiss Hunter here.
Big wicket, because you just sensed whilst those two were together, the game was only travelling in one direction. Hunter does have a habit, doesn't she, whether it's against spin or seam, of exposing her stump somewhat. And again there, well, it's just clipped the outside of the off bail and maybe just playing slightly the wrong line.
Yeah, I don't think she expected the ball to kind of tail in as it did. So it was great bowling from Wahida. Hunter does back away a little. She exposes the stumps. She has such a great eye. It's hard. She rarely misses, but it is one of the downfalls. If she is going to get out, a lot of the time it is exposed stumps or trying to paddle or lap.
Just straight off the top of my head, without looking up the numbers, she feels as though she's a batter who gets out bowled quite a bit.
And yeah, exactly. She is someone that they tend to always want to bowl stump to her. She is really strong through the leg side. And my thoughts are always that because she's known to score so heavily on the leg side and it's well protected most of the time, she often will back away, expose the stumps and try and score through the offside to get off strike.
We'll bring the left-handed Leopold to the crease. She'll come in at number 4 for Ireland. Ireland in a good position, but we have seen, well, certainly in the first game, a little bit of middle order fragility, although the middle order was the one that stepped up. Laura Delaney, I thought, was outstanding. Rebecca Stokel, very deserving of her player of the match. The impact that she had coming in at number 6. And then, well, Jane Maguire, she can dine out on that solitary ball for the rest of her career. No doubt about that. Paul, who got a golden duck the other day, survives her first ball today.
She's been a handy entry into the middle order. Left-hander, she is quite inventive with how she plays as well. See her hit in various areas behind the wicket as well. And it just changes things up a little bit, having a lefty in the middle order.
Just to expand that point about Amy Hunter, her 48th innings in T20I cricket today. It's actually the 10th time she's been bowled, which you would think is on the high side, over 20%.
Yeah, it is certainly more than what you'd expect of someone batting in the top order. So I think that's a really good point you make there, Lenny, that she does expose the stumps, and it's something that she probably would be keen to look at over the next couple of years.
And she has 7 not outs in there as well, so that's 10 dismissals of 40 are actually bowled. So there's something to look at for her going forward. Akhtar has really come back so strongly after that first over. Just the 1 run and the big wicket from her second. 12 have been bowled, 86 for 2. And Ireland are going to have to play well to get up towards that Wasp predicted target of in and around 160. Given the start they've had, they'll want that.
They will, and while Prendergast is in there, we saw it in the game 2 days ago. While Prendergast is in there, those high scores are always on the cards. Paul is really good at supporting someone like Prendergast who's scoring quickly. And then Delaney and Stokel are going to have so much confidence now going into the middle order.
Change in bowler. We're going to see, correct me if I'm wrong here, for the first time today, Tuba Hassan.
First time today, yeah, yep.
She going to bowl 13, 15, 17 and 19?
I certainly hope so.
I think you've got an ally here in the box.
Yeah.
Two leg spinners in the box.
This is a leg spin fan club here, so we're delighted.
I did have a brief period in my career, forget about the level, don't worry about that, but I did have a brief period in the T20 end of my career where I did tend to bowl 13, 15, 17, 19. It's a real challenge. I definitely wasn't the captain at that time, for those thinking that I was. And it's funny because with wrist spin, I don't know, tell me about your career, but you actually quite like a batter attacking you, don't you?
You do. It's an advantage for us, but I wasn't trusted with those precious overs, Lenny. I was given the 11th over and then lucky to get the 13th.
Oh, I had plenty of those periods of my career. The other one you see quite a lot now, I think Rashid Khan certainly has done it a lot during his career. They bowl the 6 in the power play, and then Rashid's kind of that banker to bowl number 7, isn't he?
There was a big study in the Women's Big Bash early in the first 3 years that the 7th over was the most likely to have wickets and to be the lowest scoring statistically.
Good stop, excellent work, backward point, just the one hand. I think that's 3 runs saved there, and a critical stop, a really important one, that one from Wahid Akhtar.
Brilliant fielding, and so important for Chuba-san coming on in her second ball of a spell that goes for 1. If it went for 4, that's a totally different start to the over.
Leg spinners need every bit of help they can get in their field. They need their best fielders in the key positions, and the younger legs in Wahid Akhtar are coming in and helping her out there. She was a bit off the money, wasn't she, the other day, Tuba Hassan, and great to see Pakistan have stuck with her to see what she can get from a second outing on this tour.
Yeah, it's so important that she feels that she's got that backing and that security to have one game that doesn't go her way and it's not a catastrophe and she's not dropped again. So she can bowl with a bit more freedom, knowing that they trust her, they back her, and that she's important to them.
It's also just, you think about how short this tour is. 3 games kind of in and out and done. I know there's a whole factor of reasons for that, and initially I think we were hoping to have 3 ODIs, 3 T20Is. But it's not easy, is it? If you've one bad game, then you're finding yourself in trouble. Like Arlene Kelly's done well to probably retain her spot in the 11, given 2 pretty indifferent performances from her.
Jane Maguire has reason to be a bit disappointed. Not only did she bowl quite well, she also had the heroics in her favour as well. But they obviously want to have another look at Arlene Kelly before these games come up.
Yeah, maybe one eye on that qualifier that is coming up in the Netherlands. Ireland will travel there next week. They'll have to take on Italy, Germany, and the host, the Netherlands, as an errant throw will allow an overthrow, and that's pretty tardy, I've got to say, from specifically deep mid-wicket. You've got to play 11-player cricket every single ball. You always have a role to play, even when it looks like a regulation single.
And Ola Prendergast back on strike, the new batter Leah Paul off strike. It really is disappointing if you're a Pakistan fan.
Yeah, they've been sloppy in a few little areas like that. As we get to the end of Hassan's first over, it's a good one. 92 for 2, the score after 13. Just looking ahead to that qualifier briefly, Celeste, you'd certainly expect Ireland to be in the top 2 there at a minimum.
They'd be disappointed if they don't win every match in that, with the way they've been playing and their ranking. But the Netherlands have been a tricky team over the years in that they don't play as much cricket as Ireland do, but they do have a lot of strong players and they can put big scores on.
Yeah, but Bet Deleda in particular, it continues to get better and better. Stara Callis has all that rich history. Be interesting to see as well how those pitches play at the VOC in Rotterdam. I was there covering a men's series last year. I think it's a fantastic facility. They've done a really good job with 3 or 4 of their primary venues there in the Netherlands. Proper, really impressive club grounds, not just the VRA in Amstelveen, Voorburg, VOC in Rotterdam. Kampong in Utrecht is completely revitalised from a venue we saw 4 years ago with a pretty dreadful pitch, to be honest. 120, 130. You're expecting an ODI to becoming a very high-scoring venue now. There's some good things happening in Dutch cricket. And I think they'll probably be, alongside Ireland, the favourites for those 2 spots in Nepal in January.
It's brilliant that they're moving from strength to strength in terms of facilities. You'd think better batting wickets would elevate Ireland even further away from the opposition. So Ireland will be hoping that the pitches are playing really well.
Also, I suppose, particularly if you look at the history of these qualifiers, they'll know not to underestimate their opposition. I believe there's talk of Italy getting a few players in. I'm not necessarily saying they'll qualify like the men did, but I gather a few players with some Australian heritage, even 1 or 2 who might have played some women's Big Bash coming in for them. Don't think their squad is formally announced.
I've heard some rumours, all right.
Yeah.
I've heard some rumours, and if the rumours are true, they will be strong. They'll be very strong, and it'll be a really good challenge for Ireland to have some players that have played professional cricket for a very long time inserted into that lineup.
Should Ireland get through that, Celeste, then it will be a 10-team tournament in Nepal, just recently announced there by the ICC, from the 12th of January through to the 2nd of February. Just how exciting is that for the women's game? Like, we've seen the fanaticism, I'm sure you've seen it there in Nepal for the men's game, but it could be quite transformational for those 10 sites.
It's brilliant, and it'll be great for local women in Nepal to see cricket played at that level. Hopefully it really helps their cricket in the future, but it's going to be a brilliant tournament.
Good use of the feet by Prendergast, and a fantastic square drive of the highest quality right out of the middle. Got that extra momentum into the stroke by using her feet and gets 4.
She is so hard to bowl to, Ola Prendergast, but if you give her any width, which Wahida has done here, she is really strong jumping on it there. Using her feet well, Prendergast. It's good signs for Ireland.
Yeah, that wasp continues in and around 160. I think Ireland will want that at least, particularly with Prendergast at the crease. A little bit wider the crease this time, Akhtar, as she will be popped down the ground for what's going to turn into 2. Another fumble. They bring the 100 up, and that's good running.
Really well run, and disappointing again for Pakistan's bowlers in that they have to bowl another ball at Prendergast.
Yeah, it was 2. We'll just get that checked on our graphics. Definitely a couple, because Prendergast has got back on to strike. We'll get that picked up in a moment. 101 the score now. End of the 14th over. We make it 101 for 2, although the scoreboard on the ground saying 100 right now. Just a few more notes on that women's qualifier. That I know Ireland will have to get through the Europe regional in the first place, but just in terms of the 10 teams that will be there, Bangladesh and Scotland already there in terms of their performance of being at the previous World Cup, but not qualifying automatically via the rankings. We saw USA get through the Americas qualifier, Thailand dominate the Asia qualifier, and Nepal, well, despite my allegiances there and my time in Nepal, they were very fortunate to get through that Asia qualifier. You had to spare a thought for UAE, a lot of rain around.
It's tough because UAE have been so strong in recent years. They're really developing. They've got some really exciting players there like Isha Oza and Tirtha Satish. So disappointing for them not to get to show themselves on the world stage as well.
Could be a bit of a sliding doors moment for the women's game in Nepal, because being honest with you, they did not deserve to qualify from that. It was rather fortuitous circumstances, to say the least, that they even got to the Super 6 stage, let alone through, taking one of the 2 spots. And then, so that's 5 of the teams, Bangladesh, Scotland, USA, Nepal and Thailand. We'll see the 2 qualifiers from the Europe region as they get back for a second. Then there's a qualifier at the end of this month down in Namibia, where there'll be 2 spots. You'd imagine Zimbabwe and Namibia will likely be the favourites there. Don't rule out the likes of Rwanda. And then we'll have the EAP qualifier in Fiji. That'll be a terrible gig to have to go to, that one. PNG probably the favourites out of that one. So that'll be the 10 teams that will come together. And the big difference, unlike the last Women's T20 World Cup, will expand to 12 teams, which surely anyone who loves our sport is going to say is a good thing. And that's a 12-team World Cup in England. It's about as big a carrot as you could imagine.
I think it's one of the most exciting decisions that have happened for a long time, because I played and experienced the heartbreak of not quite making that 10 teams, losing in that qualifier final there. And there's such quality teams that don't make it, that really deserve to get an opportunity to play at the highest, on the biggest stage there is.
Great use of the feet, and well, without doubt the shot of the day, quite possibly one of the shots of the series. Doesn't quite go all the way, just 1 bounce for 4. Well, exquisite use of the feet from Prendergast.
It is Ola Prendergast at her very best. Chubasan, the leg spinner, hasn't done a huge amount wrong there, other than maybe a little bit too much width, but Ola Prendergast is in great touch at the moment.
Very nearly all the way for 6. And yeah, again, 2 leg spinners in the box. I think both of us thought on release, well bowled. Prendergast simply too good.
And sometimes a great ball, even a really well bowled ball to someone like Prendergast, isn't great in the context of this situation. Perhaps really bowling a stump to stump line, and maybe a little quicker through the air to get her off strike might be the way to go. That said, it's easy from here to talk about bowling to Ola Prendergast. It's much harder out in the middle.
It makes it look so effortless when she uses her feet, comes down the track. As long off goes back now. So Prendergast will go into the leg side, find that gap, and not quite find 4, but she'll comfortably get back for the second. She's playing a gem of a knock here.
She is, and that's not an area we see her hit that often by choice. So she loves playing what we saw with the shot over extra cover. She loves playing straight. And square is almost always the fielder you'd have in as a spinner, even if you're bowling off spin to Ola Prendergast. So just shows how confident she's feeling, hitting all around the ground.
Helped into the leg side for a single, gets us to the end of the 15th. And the score moves to a Nelson. It's 111 for 2.
5 overs to go for Ireland's batting lineup. They're well set. Paul getting into her innings, 7 from 10. Prendergast is the one they'll want to face the most, but you'd imagine that we'll see some invention from Leah Paul should she remain out there. Andy Balburney, this is, they'd be pleased with this. If they'd been handed this before the game, they would have taken it Ireland.
Yeah, winning the toss and batting first, setting a platform like this to get that 160, 170 score. We saw 168 chase down the other day, but they'll feel confident. They've got all the confidence in the world, this Irish team at the moment. And like you said, plenty left in the hutch for them to really attack these next 5 overs.
They made 60 in the last 5 overs in the last game. And funnily enough, if they get 60, actually in exactly the same spot they were just 2 days ago, they were 111. The only difference being there was one more wicket down, 111 for 3. Nashra Sandhu into the attack, slow, and Orla Prendergast had all the time in the world to get the feet down the pitch, waited for it under the eyes, squeeze it through the gap between the fielders up in the ring on the offside.
Using the feet and getting down the pitch is clearly a strength of Orla Prendergast. We've seen it time and time again in her international career with that sweeper on the offside up. All she has to do is open her hands ever so slightly and pierce that gap.
I was surprised to see that shot from Prendergast, given width outside off stump, so good through the offside, and she looks to go leg side. That was the 4.
I love a sweep though, Izzy. I'm a romantic.
Yeah, you and I both would go for the sweep nearly every single ball, I think, but Orla Prendergast's strength by comparison is through the offside. Dances down and it's held back by Sandhu. Good brave bowling considering that shot at the first ball, 2 dots.
I think this is an indication of Prendergast's mindset now with 5 overs to go. We've seen 3 very aggressive shots in 3 balls here. She's looking to really get after Pakistan now.
It's a big moment in the game. Follows Prendergast. She realised that Prendergast is trying to give herself room. Leah Paul won't come back for the second. Fatima Sana putting herself in the hot spot down there at long on. She wasn't happy when Sandhu misfielded, no doubt. So they're going to change the fields, obviously, for the left-hander. Let's have a look. Square leg, mid-wicket, long off, long on. In fact, it's the same field, just on the other side, obviously, for the left-hander. Leah Paul, this is probably a good matchup for her, the left-arm spinner. They do have a third in place, but with the switch hit that she plays, I was talking to her about it earlier on, she changes her hands. She likes to go over the point fielder. That might be the option at some point. In fact, there it is. Called it, and I think this will skip away. She hit it quite high, but the outfield lightning, and she gets the boundary. Exactly the bowler that Paul would want on. She gets 4.
You've done this before, Izzy. What a shot that is. And like you said, she switches her hands, almost turns into a right-handed batter and just helps it on its way over backward point. She played it brilliantly in the first game, and she's played it brilliantly now.
Yeah, it's even to the point where I think I would have, rather than mid-off out, I would have point out for Leah Paul. That's how efficient she is at that shot. Especially if you can't bowl, if you don't have a quick arm ball against her as a spinner.
And sorry, Izzy, that's where you do your homework. That's where you look at a player and say, okay, well, where is her boundary option when things are against her or whatever? And if it is that reverse, you've got to be a bit smarter with your field. But she's so confident playing it. I'm sure if she bats for another couple of overs and is faced against spin, it'll come out again.
Yeah, 100%. She's changed that shot. We'll come back to that. 120 for 2 after 16, so 9 from the over. She used to play the reverse sweep the regular way, where you kept your hands the same. And because she's a hockey player, I think now she feels like she can hit it like a hockey shot, right-handed. So the bottom hand comes in as a right-hander, and it's her right-hander. Obviously, she's left-handed as well. She bowls with her left hand, so it's an interesting one. I don't think as a right-hander, switching to batting left-handed, you'd be as comfortable. So Orla Prendergast on strike, and it's going to be Iqbal again. She's bowling with the short boundary behind her, long off, long on, cover, and mid-wicket out. This is a good field for Prendergast, who's generally good in the V. All the straights out, so the sweep shot is on. dances down. She won't mind taking those fielders straight on, and another area of real strength for her is over extra cover, so that might be somewhere that she looks to target down towards the media tent there in the corner. Leah Paul and Orla Prendergast were batting together for a very long time last year when Ireland beat England in that brilliant game here in Clontarf in September. So they know each other well. It was something you and I were talking about off air, actually, Amy Hunter and Orla Prendergast. I can't remember a time they've batted together, and it kind of showed out in the pitch, didn't it?
It did a bit in the way they're running between the wickets. Orla is clearly one of the fastest players in the team. Amy Hunter's not slow at all, but sometimes it just takes a bit of getting used to, and that just comes from playing games together, and it's a kind of good sign that they haven't batted too much. One that's obviously done very well. Ooh.
There's the reverse, well bowled from Iqbal. Who's going to claim it? It's going to be the bowler. Cotton bowled. Leah Paul looking to play that shot once more, but the number one T20 bowler in the world had her number. So Paul, a little bit of a struggle today, truth be told, but played her role of running up and down with Orla Prendergast well. One boundary in her 11 from 13 deliveries. Ireland 121 for 3.
Yeah, technically I don't have a whole lot to say about that dismissal. It's a shot that she played so well in the previous over. With that field up, she backed herself with a smart bowling. Is the reason she's the number one bowler in the world. Yeah, she watched her so closely, and there wasn't a whole lot Leah Paul could do except for maybe play a reverse cover drive. It was that wide. But smart bowling is the end of Leah Paul.
And the hero from game 2 in the series, Rebecca Stokel, strides out. So Ireland won't be too perturbed. 34 from 16 for her. Cast your mind back, Andy, to that innings. She had to work really hard for it, didn't she? How many twos do you reckon she got in that innings? I'll have a quick look. Sure. But without looking...
I have to look. I have to look.
She got a lot of twos, and Laura Delaney also at the other end was getting a lot of twos.
Yeah, and it just shows how important that is. I think a lot of people think of T20 cricket and they think of power hitting and having to clear the boundaries, but it's so important. If you're smart with your running between the wickets, you can easily have a strike rate over 200, the way Rebecca did the other day.
Starts off with a strong shot down the ground. She's very comfortable with that shot, no surprise considering how tall she is.
She's clearly booming with confidence from 2 days ago, and that just shows from the first shot she's played. She's slapped it down the ground and got Orla Prendergast on strike, who's 40 not out. And
I don't have the stats on the twos, but I do know she only got 4 boundaries. Straight back at the bowler, dropped. You don't want to drop Orla Prendergast. It was hit with power. Iqbal saved 4 for sure. Well, she saved 3 because they scampered down. Could this have been taken?
Yeah, it was hit really hard by Prendergast. Straight back. She'll be disappointed. She got 2 hands to it.
Dug out by Stokel. It won't come back for the 2. It's just a little bit too square. So I think it's Aliyah Riaz there. Manages to just keep it to 1. Yeah, so just 4 boundaries in that 34. So she's had to run 20 of her own runs, and then whatever she's run for the other end, we saw her not really face in the last over. This time gets it over the bowler's head. Long off is quite straight, so she'll stop the 4, but they'll come back for 2. Good running from Stokel.
Yeah, and it was interesting watching that last over unfold in game 2. You were kind of itching Rebecca Stokel to get on strike and face that last ball or last couple of balls, but little did we know Jane Maguire had her first ever international 6 in the locker.
Yeah, listen, this team just keeps on doing things it's never done before. 3 overs to go. Ireland 126 for 3. Really good over that one from Iqbal, despite the dropped cotton bowled. She did take the wicket of Leah Paul. I wonder if maybe Ireland are actually pretty pleased that Stokel's the one that's getting to be out there now for the final 3 overs. You always think that, and then the next batter can get out at any time. So it's a difficult one to call.
I think what you spoke about, Izzy, as well, is how good Rebecca Stokel was between the wickets in game 2, and having Orla Prendergast out there will just increase their chances of getting more 2s and the odd 3.
No Laura Delaney. They've sent Stokel out in front of her. And just pulls out there, Sana. Stokel advancing down the pitch. I hope they're not short on time in Pakistan, because the seamer coming in and pulling out of her action takes a bit of time out of the game.
Long on, cow corner, deep square leg. Deep sweeper on the offside, mid-off, up, fine leg up.
Quite a fine third, isn't it? The big gap between third and point. I'll take on the fielder. Little fumble means it'll be an easy single. Well, I finally got the stats up for you, Angie, on Stokel's innings the other day. We said she had 4 boundaries. What's your guess for the twos?
4 boundaries is 16. 5 twos.
6 twos. Just for her, though. So she was batting with Laura Delaney most of the time.
It was such a good partnership. It really was. It, without having, like we spoke, not having done a lot, like weren't smashing it all over the ground.
Yeah. Takes that one out. Prendergast will be an easy single there. Again, good start to the over from Sana. Yeah, 3 twos for Laura Delaney as well. And then I think when Ava Canning came in, they definitely ran another 2, if not 2 of them. So she put her miles in.
Yeah, and it's such a funny ground because the dimensions are so interesting. The pockets here, if you've never been here, are quite small. So out here in the leg side now, as we're looking at, is a big pocket, but down the far end, small pocket. So it's always tricky to gauge where you get your twos and where you don't.
Yeah, it's hard to come here as a visiting team and get it straight away. Down the ground from Stokel. Prendergast will look to come back, but Sanju picks up clean. So just the single. 3 singles to start this out. So Pakistan, like they did in the first game, pulling things back. They've held back 2 overs from their captain. So how she goes in those 9 deliveries remaining in her spell will have a lot of impact on what Pakistan will need to chase in the second innings. Right through. Full straight. All it did, the only thing it didn't do is hit the stumps.
Yeah, really impressive bowling. Only 3 from it. Accurate bowling. Bowling to her field and throwing in that dipping Yorker, which is always tricky to get bat on.
She's really set up in her power stance, isn't she, Orla Prendergast? She's got one thing in her mind. She's kind of been in that mindset for a few overs now, but it looks like she's even more keen to play power shots.
Yeah, I feel this is an action ball. I feel like something's coming this ball.
There's the ramp. Clever from Orla Prendergast. She had to wait a long time to make sure that Sana wouldn't see her coming, but steps inside it, got the ball she wanted, and fine leg inside the ring. It's such a tough game being a bowler.
Really is, and she just shows why she is one of the best batters in the country. Gets in such a good position. So important to keep the head still on contact there. Everything else follows. Last few deliveries she's faced, she's tried to power the ball, but just that bit of touch, deft touch, absolute class from Prendergast.
Yeah, what does Fatima Sana do now? Because fine leg's still inside the ring. Oh, that's a full Yorker. And do you know what? I've seen Orla Prendergast get out playing the ramp shot to that exact delivery just a few weeks ago. So good news for her that she wasn't trying to play another one. Just the boundary and then a few singles in the over. So overall, a pretty good one from the captain. 2 overs to go and 134 for 3. So they need 26 to get up to 160, which should be a big ask. Not that I didn't think that these two can't do it, but one of those overs to be bowled by Sadia Iqbal, just the #1 bowler in the world in this format, and then Fatima Sana, who's been really good through the series.
I'd be very surprised if Orla Prendergast wasn't targeting that straight boundary with Iqbal bowling from it. Obviously square leg is up, so that sweep that we don't see too much from Prendergast, but it's definitely on. That's what I'd be thinking.
Dances down, and it's going to be 2. I think Stoker will come back. Good running from her. If it had hit, she might have been in trouble, but it didn't. So the 50 comes up for Orla Prendergast. 2 in 2 matches for her. 51 from 39 with 6 boundaries in it. And just 49 minutes at the crease. Decent strike rate from her. She'll want to push on now.
Yeah, well batted. Orla Prendergast has held this innings together. She's been the glue. But like you said, 11 balls here. They'll be trying to maximise it as much as possible. So she turns this 50 into a 60 or a 70 and gets Ireland to a really, really good total.
She made 51 from 34 deliveries the other day, so she's on exactly the same score she was on. She was kicking herself when she got out that day. Gives herself room to try and hit over square. Good invention from Prendergast. I wonder, is it necessary though? Like, how good she is straight? If she just tries to maybe hit it slightly harder and hit it over long off or long on, might that be a better option?
Yeah, square leg had just been moved to mid wicket to kind of block that gap for 2. So Orla is clearly thinking, if I get any bat to the square leg umpire, I can get 4. Good smart bowling.
Maybe third is the one that they should be sacrificing rather than square leg, but we'll see. Goes straight instead. Just doesn't get enough of it. Stokel was keen to come back for the 2.
Yeah, I wonder, did she think it went for 4? She kind of just nonchalantly went back down the wicket, but fortunately was thrown to the bowler's end.
Yeah, with that field, square leg's going back now for Stokel, which is a bit of a head scratcher, but cover up. It's powerfully wide of long off. Good fielding in the deep. Yeah, with field placement, and as a former captain of T20, you'll have thoughts on this, but sometimes when you take a fielder out of somewhere, it creates a wicket-taking opportunity because people can be thinking so much about that. Almost like we saw from Orla Prendergast there, that they don't hit their strong shots.
This mid-wicket just goes back to square leg and leaves that gap with 2 balls to go. Cow corner goes a touch straighter. Still a big gap.
Full toss. Sends it wide of long off. Lots of work to do. She does well in the deep there. I think it's Shamim.
It's always interesting, I think. From my experience as being a captain, you obviously chat to your bowler, but at the end of the day, it's the bowler with the ball in their hand.
Yeah.
Give them the responsibility of bowling to their field, whatever that is. Sometimes you'll have arguments, but you've just got to back them to back their skills.
Gives herself room and finds the fielder at square. Oh, Rebecca Stokel was in trouble if she'd hit there, but doesn't manage it. So a good final over from Sadia Iqbal. 1 over to go. Ireland 140 for 3, and these are the areas that Orla Prendergast has hit.
Yeah, really, really strong areas. You can see that offside is clearly a strength of hers. A lot of that to spin, left arm spin, giving herself room. That one ramp shot down to fine leg, but just a really impressive innings again. She keeps getting better and better as she spends more time in the middle.
I'm always interested in wagon wheels about whether it's because of the way the field is set or is it because you've got a strength. I think sometimes the gaps are plugged for a strength and then you have to find another area. But for Orla Prendergast, I think that is where she scores most of her runs, exactly where we've seen there. It's not a case of them plugging square leg or anything like that. Fatima Sana for the final over. And gets the wicket with the first delivery, appealing to Gareth Morrison. She doesn't need to, comes off the pads onto the stumps, and Stokel can't repeat the histrionics of 2 days ago. She goes for 5 from 6, Ireland 140 for 4.
Yeah, good bowling. Rebecca Stokel's tried to hit it out to this long side on the leg side. Could she have maybe got Prendergast back on strike for the last over? But she's a confident player and she's in great form as it brings the former captain Laura Delaney to the crease. We'll just see the replay here. Fatima just angling it in at the stumps. Come off the back pad, I'm not sure, but
yeah, I actually think it wouldn't have been out LBW. It would have missed the leg stump, but maybe just a little bit quick for Rebecca Stokel. She was through the shot a little bit late. Laura Delaney goes down a spot to number 6. But Stokel, yeah, she's got to try and hit boundaries in the last over. That's what she's in the team for, rather than just giving it to Orla Prendergast, who hasn't been hitting them quite as cleanly as she would like in the last few overs. So Laura Delaney, usually a bit of a slow starter, unfortunately. She's only got 5 possible deliveries. Fine leg goes back. Square leg is out as well. Mid wicket's in, long on and cover. So the gap is third or mid off. Clips it leg side. That's smart batting from Laura Delaney. Sadia Iqbal makes an absolute meal on the boundary. Completely unnecessary to slide there. Manages to get half a hand on it, but all she can do is help it over the boundary. So Laura Delaney, a bit of a smile, gets off the mark with a boundary.
Lovely clip shot. Didn't do a whole lot wrong. Bowler would have been happy with 2. Keep the new batter on strike. Like you say, Izzy, I'm not sure a dive was completely necessary. It's a bumpy outfield here in Clontarf. And it bobbles over for 4.
I think she could have just run a little bit harder and done the old long barrier. She's clearly worried about missing it. That's why she's slid. But yeah, that's really disappointing fielding. She's been swiftly taken out of there and put into mid-wicket. And when you're in this in the frame, the ball follows you a little bit easier this time as Orla Prendergast gets on strike.
Still no long barrier.
Now listen, I hate a long barrier, but there's a time and a place for it, especially when it's been hot. It's been a warm summer here in Ireland, so the outfield is bumpy, the ground is hard, so sometimes needs must. Change in field for Prendergast. Square goes out. Mid-wicket's out as well. Long on. Cover. So the ramp shot's on. We saw she could play it last game. Cover is very straight there, so there's a lot of space if she gets it, hits it late. Does go the ramp, and this is even better. Fatima Sana sees her, drops it short, and all Prendergast has to do is put a little bit of bat on it, 1 bounce for it.
Yeah, it's not great bowling. It's clearly a strength of Orla Prendergast. We saw her last lap that went for 4 was pace on. This was pace on again and into the wicket, so it gave Orla Prendergast more time to do what she wanted with it, and it's a brilliantly well played. Keeps very still on contact, which is so important, and 1 bounce 4.
Yeah, for any bowlers who are watching, what do you do if you know someone's going to ramp slower ball? That's what you go to, because especially if you've got quite a slower ball, the ball won't get over the fielders. Now, in Clontarf to that boundary, you might actually get 4 because it's so short and it's so quick, but give yourself the best opportunity. Yes, it's difficult to change your grip, but I think Fatima Sana, with the field she set, you knew Orla Prendergast was going to go to that shot. It's not great bowling from her, or else she could have gone full and wide outside off, right?
Yeah, 100%. And interesting to see if they change the field. It looks like they're sticking with the same field.
I love to see there's a battle between bat and ball. The last point goes to Orla Prendergast. She's going to have the last laugh. 2 boundaries so far as Ireland look to get up towards 160. Gives herself room. Hits it high and handsome, but a little bit too high for the catcher in the deep. Laura Delaney comes back for a 2. Very good running. Fatima Sana is disappointed, but I don't think there's anything the fielder can do. Laura Delaney had only one thing on her mind as soon as that was hit, and that was coming back for the second.
Yeah, 2 fast runners between the wicket. It went quite high, and the minute it went up, Laura would have been looking for 2, and makes it quite comfortably.
I think that's what she said to Orla when she got the single. She went down and had a chat. She was saying, I'm coming back for the second no matter what. Goes for the ramp again and gets it.
Brilliant.
Frustration for the bowler, elation for the batter. Closes out the innings with a boundary. An expensive final over from Fatima Sana. 3 boundaries in it. 15 runs in total and a wicket in there as well. So Ireland have done really well to just boost their total up to 155 for 4 from their 20 overs. So it's probably about par, but after fighting back strongly, Pakistan have been made to pay in the final over.
I said in the first T20, the ball before she got out, that this innings would be built around her, and it was today. Highly skilled batting from Orla Prendergast right to the very last ball of the innings. As we see the scorecard come up here, good starts from Hunter and Lewis, set up the platform for Orla Prendergast to come in and get 64 not out. Contributions down the order throughout. Laura Delaney coming in 5 off 2, ran really well between the wickets, but Orla Prendergast a standout performer there, 64 off 46.
Yeah, good partnership up top in particular. That was brilliant from Ireland. 52 between Gabby Lewis and Amy Hunter. And then Hunter and Prendergast put on another innings of, or another partnership of a 30 odd. And Paul, the heavy lifting done by Prendergast, but Paul ran well, so they added 35. And then a handy little partnership at the end of 15 between Prendergast and Delaney.
Yeah, as we see the bowlers shared wickets up the top, but they'd be slightly disappointed to have conceded 155. They still back their batters. Fatima a bit expensive today, 1 for 40 from her 4. But Ramin, clearly the standout bowler today, 1 for 18. And she only bowled 3 overs. Could they have maybe given her a 4th? We'll find out if that is costly in a couple hours' time.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not long before we'll see what happens in the second half. What happened in the second half just a couple of days ago was Jane Maguire hit a 6 off the final delivery of the second innings to hand Ireland their second win in the series. We caught up with her a little bit earlier on. Let's hear what she thinks about it. Jane, congratulations, of course, on the not just the win the other day, but the 6 on the final ball. You are the first player, male or female, in T20 internationals or ODIs to hit a 6 to win the match when only facing the last ball remaining in the regulation over. A record that will never change. How does that feel?
Yeah, it's a pretty cool record to hold, to be fair. Didn't think I'd be holding a record like that, so yeah, can't complain with that one.
Do you think this makes you a proper all-rounder now?
Oh, hopefully. There's a bit of competition between me and Amy. Lloyd keeps going, which one's the all-rounder, so hopefully I'm one up now.
Definitely. The dust has settled on that win and on that amazing moment. Where does it, the moment, rank in best moments in your cricket career?
Yeah, definitely a good moment. I think I got the ball at the end of the game. It's pretty sad that I hadn't got one for bowling yet, which was a bit of but no, definitely one of those good moments.
And you're 2-0 on the series. How keen is the group to make it 3-0?
Oh, very keen. Hopefully we go out there and give it all today and win.
Okay, well, thank you so much for your time. Best of luck today.
Cheers, thank you.
I like trying new sports. I like smashing the ball. We got a t-shirt, a bag, a bat and a ball. It's really fun to play with your friends, have fun and also get to learn new things.
Seconds, degrees, millimeters. The smallest margin can make the biggest difference. At CERTA, we're committed to finding every efficiency, every edge to deliver cleaner, greener energy. That's why we're proud to support Ireland's women's cricket team as they continue to push the boundaries, and why we're committed to nurturing the next generation of talent, helping them to find their edge. CERTA. Find your edge.
It's Wicket. It's cricket for girls aged 12 to 15. It's Wicket. Try out batting, bowling and scoring runs. Try it out with your friends. You'll love it. It's Wicket. Find out more and register now.
So welcome to the coverage at the end of the first innings, the third and final international here between Ireland and Pakistan women. Seen a really good series. It's been so engaging thus far, and this third game has been no different, as Ireland have posted 155 for 4 thanks to an Orla Prendergast inspired inning. She made 64 not out from her 46 deliveries, including 8 fours, and made it back-to-back 50s. Isabel Joyce and Celeste Rack are alongside me to talk about that first innings. Guys, there's only really one place we can start. Orla Prendergast at it again. How good a knock was that?
Yeah, it was brilliant. And actually, as I think back, there's plenty of balls that she didn't maybe hit as well as she would have wanted to, so it could have actually been more. And I think another day that could be 80 plus, but that's not to take away from what she did today. Really pleasing to see her adding the ramp shot to her repertoire. She's going to keep on adding shots in the next few years, and give her another 24 months, so she's going to be a tough one to come up against.
Celeste, 52 for none in the sixth over. Ireland with their best start of the series by a distance. Are they arguably going to be a little dissatisfied only ending up with 155?
I think they will be. They were certainly looking at a 170, 175 potentially at certain times in the innings, and with all the Prendergast batting through. There were a couple of leaner overs there in the middle after wickets had fallen, and I think they will look at that and see what they can do next time to potentially score more runs.
Yeah, just the 2 overs of 10 or more in between the 7th and the 20th over after the power play. What do you put that down to? Was there a little bit of a lack of intent at points of those middle overs?
No, well, I think, credit to Pakistan there, because whenever someone new came out, there was a plan to keep the new batter on strike, first of all. They managed to do that, and then they knew exactly how to get dot balls. And all you need to do is create 2 or 3 dot balls, and then if you can manage to just go for 1s and 2s, that's the recipe for a quiet over. And especially when it's spinners, they get through their overs so quickly, and then the frustration starts, and then you give yourself an opportunity to take another wicket as well.
Celeste, in terms of Pakistan's efforts, given it was a pretty poor start, they fought back nicely, didn't they? I thought Sadi Iqbal bowled very well, bouncing back after the day, 4 overs, 1 for 29 for her. And Rameem Shamim, maybe the big surprise, the fact she didn't bowl her 4th and final.
Yeah, it was surprising that she didn't. She was very good today, and their spinners have been very impressive. It was more their seamers today that were expensive, and Fatima Sana would have liked to probably go for less than 40 today. It was a tough start for her.
Let me ask you both, maybe pick up a sentence or 2 each. How proud are you, as former Irish women's players, of this current side? They're exciting, they're engaging, they're absolute joy to be around.
Yeah, do you know what I noticed the most is the belief within the group. Obviously, they have the results to back them up, but when we used to say we thought we could win every game, we didn't think that. You had to say it. You go to a World Cup, I think we can win every game. You know you're not going to. We haven't in fact won a World Cup game in a T20 World Cup, but you had to always say that. When these guys say it now, you believe it.
Are the best days ahead of them? It really feels that way, Celeste.
I really do think so. You can see these players that are performing are so young. All the Prendergast, Gabby Lewis, Amy Hunter, they've still got so much cricket ahead of them, and they're already so impressive.
What is impressing you the most about them? Not just from I suppose, an on-field perspective, that togetherness off the field seems to shine through as well.
Yeah, it seems like they're really gelling as a team. You know what it's like when there's success brings really good continuity with the group. I think it's an exciting time for Ireland.
Is he 155 on the board? Confident of a clean sweep, a green wash, if you will?
Yeah, I think it's a middling total. If Pakistan bat well, I think they can chase it. So it's down to whether Ireland can bowl better than they did the other day. Freya Sargent coming in, I think it's going to be really, really important, because the extra spinner in the lineup just gives a little bit more wriggle room for Gabby Lewis. And this is her home ground. She's an out-and-out spinner, so if there's any turn there, she will get it. And I think it's important for her to get back out in the field in this format as well, because I've been hating watching Lara McBride kind of take her spot the last while. So a little bit of rivalry between them is no bad thing.
Celeste, who should we be keeping our eyes on for Pakistan with the bat? An interesting change for them. No Sidra Amin, a seamer coming in her place. So in theory, potentially a little bit weaker, but they've got plenty of potential there. Iman Fatima, we've been impressed with. Shawal Zulfikar played very well, the 20-year-old the other day.
For me, it's Pavez. She's been brilliant. She's attacked from the start. She's been the top scorer for them in the last 2 games, so she'll be the one to watch, in my opinion.
OK, go on then, put their necks on the line, ladies. Is it going to be 3-0 or are we looking at 2-1?
I'm going to make Celeste go first, because she's always dodging this question.
So I think that the total is slightly ahead of par, and that if Ireland bowl well, they'll do it. I would have Ireland slightly ahead with that total.
Yeah, Ireland as well.
I'm going to sit on the fence and say we're going to have a final over finish no matter what. All the action for that second innings is going to be on the back end of this advertising break.
Seconds, degrees, millimetres. The smallest margin can make the biggest difference. At Certa, we're committed to finding every efficiency, every edge to deliver cleaner, greener energy. That's why we're proud to support Ireland's women's cricket team as they continue to push the boundaries, and why we're committed to nurturing the next generation of talent, helping them to find their edge. Certa. Find your edge.
You're very welcome back here to Clontarf Cricket Club. And if you've just joined us, Ireland winning the toss and batting first in this 3rd T20 International. Posted 155 for 4. Orla Prendergast, the headline act, 64 off 46. Contributions all the way down for Ireland. 2-0 up already in the series, but still so much to play for as the sun breaks through here in this second innings.
Yeah, particularly, Andy, that streak that they have. 9 on the bounce, desperate to make it 10, a qualifier ahead where they'll face 3 lower ranked opponents twice. Don't think anyone wants to get ahead of themselves, but if Ireland could take victory today, you might be thinking of a streak that, well, certainly unprecedented in terms of its quality and stature for either the men's or the women's side. Outstanding stuff. Lovely to hear both Celeste Rack and Isabel Joyce talk about just how proud they are of this Irish women's side. They really are an absolute joy to be around, and their performances on and off the field, you can't think of better role models for the game here in Ireland.
Yeah, you're spot on, Lenny. I think, you know, we do a lot of training in the same facility, and you see how hard they work. They're putting the hours in, and they're reaping the rewards here. And it's just people like Orla Prendergast has come off 64 not out. She's got the new ball in her hands.
Straight in. Yeah, straight in. And I think for those who haven't maybe played a very high level of cricket, the difficulty of doing that, Andy, difficulty of being out there. Remember, she walked to the crease at number 3 in the 6th over. So batted unbeaten for over 14 overs. Now is the new ball in hand. And we'll have to bowl an important 24 deliveries here. She'll probably bowl 2 at the top and 2 at the death, as she so often does. And very much, well, right now there's only really one contender for the player of the series. She'd love to do it in a 3-0 series win. Here we go. She starts short and wide and is flayed away wonderfully well by Munib Ali. Pakistan will be desperate to break that winning streak of Ireland's, and they start in good style.
Yeah, and a real sign of intent from Munib Ali. Not a great delivery from Prendergast, but first ball of the innings. I'm not going to watch it. I'm going to slap it through the covers for 4. Exactly the start Pakistan would have wanted in this chase.
You just wonder, could Prendergast have maybe bowled the second? I know it's only 4 or 5 minutes. I know it's just the first ball. A lot to ask of her. This time pulled away, going to be back-to-back boundaries. Muniba Ali pouncing on the length this time. Not that short, but short enough to pull it for 4 more.
Both sides of the wickets. We saw one through the covers of the ball, but previous stand tall and pull it through mid-wicket. What a shot. Great start from Munib Ali here.
You tend to see, won't you, short in stature batters be comfortable on shots off the back foot. We've seen it exemplified perfectly there. First time on the off, second time on the leg by Munib Ali. Make it 3 in a row. Pakistan have started in glorious fashion. Ireland's rather timid ending and only ending up with 155 could be costly. Have a look at that run rate, 24 it's going at the moment.
Yeah, someone's going to have to cool Wasp down. It's going off in this commentary box. What a shot. Absolute flair from Munib Ali. Again, just maybe a touch wide from Orla Prendergast, but she throws her hands at it and races away.
What does Prendergast do here? Does she think about changing the angle potentially?
I think you just think bowl straight. If she hits me down the ground for 4, fair play, but naturally been hit for the first 3 balls, the innings for 4, you're doing whatever you can to get a dot.
Much better. Right, what Andy Balbirnie was asking for. 3 for 28 and 1 for 22 in her 2 4-over spells thus far for Prendergast, but maybe just that fatigue of being out there for that entire innings paying a little bit at the start of this second innings. Can't be an easy thing to do, can it? Bat at number 3 and open the bowling.
No, neither of us have any experience of it. These are fit players, though. I can't imagine fatigue has any part to play in it.
Almost creates a chance, but a sort of check pull shot will have to be reined in by Freya Sargent. One of the changes, the only change to the side for Ireland today. One change in both sides. It'll be a single to bring Shawal Zulfikar onto strike. Thought she played really nicely 2 days ago.
Yes, she did, and it was a really impressive opening partnership, similar enough to what we saw today from Ireland. But they just couldn't really capitalise and get that big score that would have put Pakistan out of sight. Now, credit to the way Ireland came back, but certainly they'll be looking to build on another good opening partnership today.
62 they put on 2 days ago, these two. There's a little bit of movement back into Zulfikar as Prendergast closes out the first over. Good finish to the over after those 3 boundaries. 13 for none.
You mentioned Freya Sargent in that last over, Lenny. I'd be interested to see how she goes. She's a genuine off-spinner who tries to give it a good rip. This is the 3rd game in a row we've played on this wicket. It's been dry in Dublin. The ends look dry, so they might try to get her in the game as early as possible as we see Ava Canning coming on from the city end.
Yeah, 3 spin options and 3 pretty frontline spin options for Ireland. Freya Sargent, young Laura McBride, and then the leg breaks of Cara Murray, who's had, well, despite taking wickets, a bit of an indifferent series. Hasn't maybe been at her very best. Canning's been good, though, and economical. Surprise for me is not so much Sargent coming into the team, but just who she came in for in the shape of Jane Maguire. I would have thought that maybe it would have been Arlene Kelly that might have missed out, given she struggled a bit. Immediately, Hunter is up to the stumps. That's a freebie. Poor delivery, not the right line or length, and helped round the corner. Muniba Ali continues her excellent start. 4 more.
Yeah, I think Ireland have just struggled with their length here in the first 2 overs. That's a short ball. Don't need to do much but help it round the corner. And it's been quick all week here in Clontarf Cricket Club, and that is no different. You don't chase them. Just going back to what you said, Lenny, I think this Irish team is slightly different in the sense that they've got so much depth. There's players who aren't playing on the sideline. Amy Maguire has been now back in the mix. Christina Coulter-Riley has scored runs in India.
Yeah, her and Louise Little both in the squad, but they won't get a game at all in this 3-match series.
No, but they have that depth now that when the going gets tough and injuries that do happen come about, they've got a bench and players who aren't even on the bench that can come in and do the role. And the confidence not just comes from the players who are on the pitch doing it, but the guys on the bench watching the cricket and seeing the confidence that they have, it's infectious.
Yeah, and that competition for place is key. Big shot across the line. Very difficult for Canning with the movement she gets to get that to pitch in line and go on to potentially impact the stumps. We saw, well, one really important decision, didn't we, in the first innings? One that Gabby Lewis was probably a bit unlucky with, this one given not outs. Umpire Gareth Morrison standing alongside Jonathan Kennedy. Morrison just his second international. Azam Ali Beg, our reserve umpire, and Graham McRae, our match ref. Tucked away for a single. You talk about chasing down what I think both Izzy and Celeste Rack described as a fair total, a middling total, not too much above par. Power play always important, whatever you're chasing.
Absolutely, and we've seen the start that Pakistan have had above 10 with their run rate, and that just sets up an innings, whether it's first innings or second innings. If you get a good partnership, a good power play, you can bat around that. Ireland will know that they need a good power play. It's not a massive total, like we've said. It's by no means a winning total, but if they bowl well in the power play, they should be able to defend a total like this as Ava Canning finds her line and length to the right-hander. She had great success against right-handers in that first T20I, and she'll be looking to do the same today.
Yeah, you also suspect if they can restrict Pakistan to not a long way ahead of the game in this first 6, although they have had a very hot start, you'd imagine just that pace coming off the ball. I think both sides throughout the series have found it tough to score from that sort of 7th to 15th over period. But at the moment, certainly the statistics, Wasp is making Pakistan the favourites in terms of chasing this down. Leg side wide this time.
Yeah, and it was interesting listening to the new Ireland coach Lloyd Tennant after the first game. He was talking about the success that the team have had in recent times, and he spoke about wickets. They've managed to take wickets no matter what the situation of the opposition, whatever's happening in the game. They've created chances, taken chances, and it's so crucial when it comes to T20 cricket.
Yeah, particularly when you look at the 11 that Pakistan have out today. This will be cut off by McBride just inside the rope. They'll pick up a couple. 2 more runs to the total. 21 for none after 2. Similarly to Ireland, they look to have a reasonably long tail, don't they? Rameem Shamim will be all the way up at number 7, and then 4 other bowlers beneath her. If Pakistan are going to get this done, they'll need a big one, and something they haven't had this series. They haven't had an individual batter get 50 yet.
Absolutely, Len, and we've seen both games, the top order for Pakistan getting in and scoring 20s or 30s, but if they're going to go to chase this total, they need someone in that top 4 or 5 to get a match-winning innings, a 50 or a 60. Something similar to what we saw from Orla Prendergast in that first innings.
Change of bowling immediately. Orla Prendergast not going to bowl 2 on the bounce up at the top unless he could have a change of ends, of course. It will be Arlene Kelly, and a bit of pressure on the experienced Kelly, who's had a poor series. Bowled just 2 overs in both games, being wicketless, being expensive, and she'll be looking to turn that around today. Given that show of faith by the Irish management, retaining her place. Much more like it, right on the money to start with. Yeah, incredibly for Pakistan, despite scoring 131 in the first game and a really good total of 168 in the second game, the highest individual score that they have across the series is Shawal Zulfikar's 33.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a sign that the wickets have been good all 3 games. They've had players to get in, but just not getting beyond that 50 mark.
Pulled, and a powerful pull from Munib Ali. She loves that stroke, picks up the length, and even though she's playing across the line, and indeed the movement from Kelly, she gets 4.
Yeah, it's not a great delivery from Kelly. We've seen the strength of Munib Ali and how quickly she picks up that length. And head position is so good there. It skips along the outfield here in Clontarf.
Scythed across the line. Brilliant batting. Very powerful on that stroke in particular. Pressure building, not just on Kelly, but on Ireland. Better. And surely Ireland want the batters coming forward. Don't want to allow them to play off that back foot.
Yeah, interesting. Amy Hunter straight up to the stumps this over for Kelly. These are the deliveries she needs to... This is her bread and butter. Get them hitting down the ground. Don't get hit square, particularly here, where it just races along. Get them driving.
Gets that pull shot in again, not quite in the way she would have wanted. Probably off the glove, I think, because Cara Murray does really well to keep it to a couple. What are you doing if you're Gabby Lewis here? You're the captain of Ireland, Andy. How are you thinking about working your way through the rest of this power play? Are you thinking of pace off at some point, one of the 2 young off spinners?
Yeah, I think so. I think she's clearly probably had a word with her senior bowler, Prendergast, and it wasn't her best over of the series. Maybe just take her out of the game, bring her at the back end of the power play for 1. Maybe an off-spin option in Freya Sargent.
Again, helped round the corner to her favourite leg side. That'll be 4 more. Kelly has been targeted throughout the series. She continues to be, and it's another double-digit over that she's conceded.
Yeah, we can see here, just drifts down the leg side. Bit of a free hit from Maniba. She's in fine form today. 28 off just 14. Great start here from Pakistan.
Better length this time, but still 10 off that opening over from Kelly. 31 for none after 3. It's a bit more like it from Pakistan. We saw them bat very well in the second T20I. Pretty strong reminder that wins over full member nations in international cricket do not come easy. Pakistan on top in this chase.
Yeah, and you mentioned it in the first innings, Eleni, about how short a tour it is, particularly 3 T20 internationals. There's a long way to come for just that. And if you don't hit the ground running, you're playing catch up for the rest of the week. So they'll be desperate to get a win and bring it back home with them. And, you know, Ireland have been the better team, I think, over the 2 games and deserve this series win. But Pakistan will want nothing more than to pack their bags tomorrow and bring home a win.
Yeah, absolutely. Their men's team in action today as well against the West Indies in an ODI. Out in Trinidad, they're 1-0 up in the series. They had a fantastic victory 2 nights ago. I was talking to both Diana Baig and Sid Ramin after Aliyah Riaz, indeed, actually after the heartbreaking defeat for Pakistan 2 days ago. And something they were saying was that they've been a little frustrated with the lack of games because they're in such good form on home soil. They hit the headlines across Pakistan, winning 5 from 5 in that home qualifier. Haven't played an international since then, remarkably. And this one's helped around the corner. There is protection out there. It'll just be 1. But incredible to think of that they've got a 50-over World Cup coming up in, 5-6 weeks, something like that. Haven't played a game since that qualifier. Up until this tour, that is.
Yeah, and naturally that World Cup will be on a lot of these players' minds. A huge ICC event. That's where you want to go in hitting peak form. But I think T20 cricket and 50 over cricket, there's a lot of similarities. So you can get your momentum and form from this format. We just haven't seen them clicked as of yet.
In terms of your own playing and the way you approach the 2 different white ball formats, it feels to me that throughout the sort of 20 odd years or so of T20 cricket that we've had, the 2 formats continue to grow further apart in terms of skill sets, even though they're both white ball coloured clothing.
Yeah, I think actually ODI cricket is maybe getting closer to Test cricket as opposed to T20. It almost seems to be out on its own with the way it's played, and there's just so much of it that the game is changing at a rapid pace, quicker than any of the other formats.
Lofted down the ground and straight to mid-off. That's where Andy Balbirnie was asking for the Irish bowlers to make the Pakistan batters hit. It's exactly where they have gone. It's probably come a little bit off the toe of the bat. It's Canning that is the breakthrough. And Ireland, well, my oh my, how they needed that. They have their first.
Yeah, and credit to Arlene Kelly. She hasn't had the best week with the ball. She probably knows that herself. But in her 50th T20 international, she makes a really smart running catch at mid-off that pegs Pakistan back, and a much, much needed wicket here for Ireland, as you see Canning, who tends to swing it back into the right-handed toe end of the bat. Hunter knew it, Arlene Kelly knew it. Pakistan 33 for 1.
And throughout the tour, we haven't seen many Pakistan batters hit comfortably down the ground. It's going to be Natalia Parvez who'll come in at number 3. I think they've got a flexibility, don't they, between their number 3 and number 4, depending upon who exactly is dismissed in terms of whether it's the left-hander or the right-hander dismissed. But Parvez, who's had a good series, will come in at 1 down. Some of the Irish batters have hit very comfortably down the ground. Gabby Lewis, Orla Prendergast in particular. We've even seen a 6 from Laura Delaney. Jay Maguire, of course, has hit 1 down there. Pakistan haven't had that same power down the ground. They've had it square the wicket. Why is that?
Yeah, I think it's probably down to where these players are brought up in subcontinent wickets, where it's naturally you're brought up facing a lot of spin, and it's harder to maybe get down the ground. You practice basically on one knee, and having been to that part of the world, it's an area, it's a shot you need to have in your armoury. Ireland would have been brought up on slightly better wickets, quicker wickets, bit more seam, so you back yourself to hit it down the ground.
Good accuracy from Canning. Wicket's always the best way to stem that run rate, and if Ireland can kind of get out of this power play, they can then start to apply the squeeze and probably plenty of spin.
And it's gone back to what I mentioned about Lloyd Tennant. The power play, the first 3 overs was all Pakistan, and it hasn't been the best bowling from Ireland, but they still create a wicket-taking chance. You take that chance and it completely shifts the momentum of the power play.
Heaved away into the leg side and finds the gap. There are 2 fielders out there, but that was, well, wonderfully well placed, wasn't it? Probably 35 yards between the 2 of them. Went right out to the deep square leg boundary, and the 4th over ends of the boundaries, 37 for 1.
With Ava Canning's direction there of the ball and her angles, she has the 2 fielders set out for that shot, but it was beautifully in between the gap. Couple of bounces and through the boundary. 37 for 1 after 4. Key breakthrough from Canning, but a boundary to end the 4th.
Just looking across to our right here, Andy, from our commentary position, we're right next to the 2 team tents, and interestingly, it's not going to be Eamon Fatima in next necessarily. I know she's padded up, but Aliyah Riaz very much going through her kind of motions in terms of warming up. She was all the way down at number 6 the other day. Interesting to see how this Pakistan order lines up, maybe trying to stagger that bit of experience they have.
Yeah, I think so, and you've got to be flexible in T20 cricket. You tend to have 2 or 3 batters padded up at once, and depending on what bowlers are bowling, whether it's an off spinner, a left arm spinner, have your batters ready, and players are adaptable like that these days. They're used to that.
Big shots and a powerful strike. I think that's one of the biggest hits of the entire series, probably the biggest 6 we've seen, and it goes to Maniba Ali, who has tracer bulleted that one all the way to the pavilion.
Yeah, she's taking a real liking to Arlene Kelly here. Not the worst ball she's bowled, but just gets down on one knee. It's almost like a sweep, Lenny. She hits it so far in front of square. Couple of bounces into the window.
Oh, scorers are going to be given a rude awakening there. Who's in there? Andrew Mooney, probably.
Captain Lewis, change of the field by the looks of it. Sweeping the offside coming up. Cow corner going back.
It's almost surprised to see Kelly given a second consecutive over. Thought she might have been brought back after the power play, but crucial moments, these ones. Tries the same shot. Fielders out there. I'm going to go to the right of Laura Delaney. Very, very difficult chance. Hard to even call it a catching chance. Delaney, I don't think got anything on it at all.
A very similar shot, Lenny. I'd be surprised if you see Muniba on one knee again. Just helps it in front of square, skips on so quickly here. Yeah, big diving effort from Delaney at deep square. With those two fielders out there, this is the plan.
Much better length. Ireland have just been guilty of feeding Muniba Ali for all the brilliance of the ball striking. They haven't bowled particularly well to her.
Yeah, I mean, there's two batters padded up here, and I would be ready to go. The way Muniba is playing, you need to be on your toes. It's all action here in this power play.
Rightly so. I think it's the correct approach and intent here for Pakistan to get themselves ahead of the game in the first 6. All-out attack. You just see anything fuller, she's nowhere near as comfortable on, and almost every boundary's come square of the wicket.
Yeah, it looked like an off-cutter from Arlene Kelly, wanting to get out of this over. She finished with 3 dots. She'd take that, having gone for a 6 and a boundary in the first half of the over. But Muniba Ali is ticking, and 39 off 21, there's no reason for her to stop.
Much better from Kelly. Credit to her for finishing out the over so well. Muniba Ali, though, is putting Pakistan ahead of the game. 5 have been bowled. It's 47 for 1.
They aren't quite where Ireland were after 5 overs, Pakistan. Ireland were 52 for 1. Pakistan 47 for 1, but that is a very good start in pursuit of 156 for their first victory. A consolation win, it would be. Now, a big call from Gabby Lewis. She's turned to Lara McBride to bowl the final over of the power play. A surprise for you?
It is a surprise for me, yes, especially with how well Muniba Ali is striking the ball at the moment. However, I can understand that she probably feels like something does need to change, and pace on isn't really working for Ireland at the moment.
Yeah, 2 fielders only allowed outside the ring. The 2 straights are up. Square leg and mid wicket are out. And straight down the ground goes Natalia. And it just about lands inside the rope.
And that's brilliant ball striking from Natalia Pavez there. It's put the pressure straight on Lara McBride, who would have wanted her to stay in a crease and defend this or try and push it around. She's used her feet really well, and she's got a great piece of that.
And for me, I think Freya Sargent is the off-spinner who can bowl in the power play. I'm not sure Lara McBride has the skills yet. There's the long ball. Drops it short, so it'll be pulled out to Leah Paul. I think this is why she's been brought on. It's to try and get Muniba Ali out. 39 from 22, so a brilliant start from her. She started out with real intent against Orla Prendergast, and we spoke to her the other day. She said that she's been told to play attacking cricket, so that's what she's going to do. We've seen that so far. Cover is coming up, and square leg and mid wicket are the 2 out for the left-hander as well. Yeah, an interesting field this. So what's happened is Rebecca Sokol's really backward. A good power through the ball there. Orla Prendergast gets a hand on it. It won't go all the way. She'll chase it down. You imagine it'll just be 2. Yeah, the field on the left. They're going to come back for 3. Amy Hunter, get your glove off.
Yeah, it was good intent there, but I think anyone that sees the ball in hand with all the Prendergast probably should be mindful.
Yeah. Natalia Pervez sent back by Muniba Ali, who doesn't want to gift Ireland anything. Much slower, she'll look to drop and run. It won't happen. So good comeback from Lara McBride here. Talking about that field on the leg side, square leg is really backward. Then there's a fielder on square to save the single. Then a fielder in mid-wicket on the boundary, and a straighter one on the ring as well. So lots of gaps there. Looks to try and get it through the offside. It's popped horribly up on Orla Prendergast. Hopefully nothing too bad.
She looks to be okay. We're always concerned about the teeth.
I think she's lucky she's quite tall. If that had been you or I, we might have been in trouble, and a trip to the dentist would have been called upon. So after 4 of the first ball, she's come back well here. McBride needs to try and get out of the over. And Pakistan have the run rates the right way around. Run rate is close to 9.5. Run rate required down near 7, which is nothing in T20 cricket. The long ball again. This could be a chance of the deep. Prendergast underneath it. He takes the wicket with the final delivery of the power play. Was it a stroke of genius from the Ireland captain to bring on her young off-spinner, Lara McBride? That's exactly what they won't have wanted, Pakistan. Natalia finds the fielder in the deep, absolutely no pace on it. She had to try and create it all herself. It's the slow walk-off from Natalia Pervez. She goes for 9 from 5, 2 fours in a swift innings. Pakistan end the power play, 55 for 2.
She's so disappointed there, and you can see why here. That was a half tracker. She's really landed that halfway down the pitch with no pace on it. But how often have we seen in this series that the ball that should have been sent for 6 or for 4 is the one that takes the wicket, especially with the spinners?
Yeah, that one was, she bowls it from behind the crease, so it looks like it's going to be really easy to hit, but you have to wait forever for it to get to you. She generally doesn't bowl it that short, I will say that.
That was not part of the plan, but even so.
Yeah, Aliyah Riaz, who is fighting for some touch. It's an interesting choice from Pakistan. I think that what they're doing is they're trying to get one of their key players back in touch. They've sent her in, the power play finished, and said, right, this is your opportunity. You've got a long time. We've got a brilliant platform. Get yourself some runs. Left-right hand combination stays because Muniba Ali's still there. Karen Murray straight out of the power play, she'll come on, so that'll be an interesting matchup with Riaz, but she'll bowl to Muniba Ali to start things off. When will Freya Sargent be brought into the attack is what I want to know.
That's what we're all waiting for, but nice time for Karen Murray to come on after a wicket has fallen.
Punched into the leg side, they'll look for 2 and they'll come back. Really nicely weighted delivery that from Muniba Ali. All the boundary fielders right on the rope because she's been scoring in boundaries pretty much.
And she's the key here for Pakistan. If she can really break the back of this chase and get them to a point where they only need 6, 6.5 and over, the rest of the order can do that. They can certainly win from there.
There'll only be 1 because it's down towards long on. Gabby Lewis down there. Doesn't seem to bother her being on the boundary while being captain, which is good because she's one of the best, if not the best fielder in the Irish lineup. I think between herself and her vice captain, they'd be fighting for that title. Just 2 50s and 1 century for Muniba Ali in her 79 matches. A little bit of a surprise that she hasn't scored more runs really in the format. Riaz looking to find the gap at point. She sweats on that area, doesn't she?
She does. That's the ball she wants to be facing from the leg spinner, but it's tough sometimes to get that in between those 2 fielders there, McBride at the 3rd and Laura Delaney at a point.
Finds the boundary fielder on the offside this time, so off the mark for Aliyah Riaz. Now just 1,343 runs for Muniba Ali in her T20 career, from a similar number of games. Nice drive that from Muniba Ali, and it'll beat the fielder in mid-off. A diving Arlene Kelly can't cut it off. She's just batting. It's like she's batting on a different surface, isn't it? Muniba Ali absolutely racing along.
She makes it look so easy. That's a really tough shot to play against a leg spinner. The ball's dropping, and she's managed to use her hands so well to get that just to the right side of Arlene Kelly.
.50, number 3 for Muniba Ali. 50, number 3 in T20 internationals. Her team stands up. They know they need their big players to perform if they're going to beat Ireland in the form that they're in. Appreciation and smiles on the faces in the deep. They've had a tough tour so far. 29 deliveries for that, 8 fours and 1 6.
Muniba Ali's been really strong down the ground there, and square as well. Anything that's been a little bit short, she's put away. Really good with the pull shot.
That last shot was probably the shot of the day, just for her anyway. Slightly over pitch from Karen Murray. If you want to fight with her about it. There wasn't too much wrong, and as a leg spinner, I suppose there's different types of boundaries you can go for. You don't mind that one quite as much. So Prendergast, after a tough first over, she opened the game. 3 boundaries in that off the bat of this one. Maniba Ali, she'll be keen to get her out like she did in the first game. Floaty delivery to start. Round the wicket as well to the left-hander on this occasion. She's having a quick look at the pop increase. Didn't think she looked comfortable at all there, Orla Prendergast.
It's a strange situation she finds herself in for her. She very rarely goes for 3 boundaries off her first over, with 2 boundaries. And yeah, so the fight back here for her will be an interesting one to see how she manages to come back. Now, obviously, 4 fielders out makes things a little bit easier.
A very different 4 fielders out for her than for Cara Murray. She has cover third, fine and square, so you're generally defending half the pitch. She's defending the back half. Digs that one in. Riaz just bunting it into the leg side. She was in, wasn't she, the other day in the first game when Prendergast was bowling short and late in the game, and she found it difficult to get bat on ball on that occasion. So at the moment, it's nice for someone out of form to be in with someone who's in great touch, isn't it?
It is, and Prendergast will be aware that she can get away with a few different lengths to Alia Riaz than she can to Maniba, who's been so strong off the short ball.
Slightly fuller, but doesn't manage to find the gap on this occasion. Maniba Ali. So can Ireland keep her quiet for a few balls and make her feel the pressure? It's pressure that's not really there, because she's going absolutely great guns. Pace is on. Third is up in the ring now. Mid wicket goes back, so she needs to be straight here. Orla Prendergast. The double bluff.
She was lucky to get away with that one with third coming up.
I think Maniba Ali was really expecting the straight one, wasn't she? So got away with one there, Orla Prendergast. Who's that in third? Get ready, because now Maniba Ali is going to be waiting.
Is that Cara Murray?
Yeah.
I think it's Cara Murray.
Gets it right this time. The top edge. Caught in. Oh dear. Dropped by Cara Murray and point. It's Freya Sargent who's in third. And then sloppiness on the leg side from Ireland as well. No one coming up to back up, but Pakistan still thinking about the drop catch. Orla Prendergast was dropped on 40. How costly is this going to be?
Could this be catastrophic for Ireland? It was well bowled there by Prendergast. She's set things up nicely with the dot the ball before.
A short one to close out the over. So a really good return over. Would have been better had Cara Murray grabbed onto a very easy chance, but it wasn't to be. Frustration for Orla Prendergast. After 8, Pakistan 67 for 2. What do you put that drop catch down to?
It's hard to say, isn't it? It really is. Sometimes it's just, yeah, just doesn't work out. Cara Murray and Arlene Kelly have both been a little more expensive going at 10s and 9s. Ava Canning has been the pick of the bowlers so far, with her 1 for 14 off her 2, coming into the role of opening the bowling, which for her she hasn't been doing.
It was a strange one, because obviously Jane Maguire not in the team, and then Prendergast being expensive, you were kind of worried about the other end. Cara Murray continues. No single there. Ava Canning anticipating well. She knew the ball was likely to come to her.
Ava Canning has put her best foot forward at every opportunity she's been given. She's had a great economy rate across this series and Zimbabwe.
She's had to fight for her spot, hasn't she? Little punch down the ground from Ali. They've plugged the gap where she was getting 2s. Now third in place. Interesting to see what happens with the new batter. Riaz, relatively new, just 2 from her 4 deliveries so far. Dragged down. Go out to the fielder in the deep, but Ireland coming back well outside the power play. And it's something that can happen, isn't it? Power play was pretty expensive, not quite as expensive as Pakistan's one, but once you get out of the power play, if you can not go for boundaries, just go for ones, get a few dots, you can pull things back, as we're seeing from Ireland here. Full toss. You don't want to bowl that to Muniba Ali, but she does get good drop, doesn't she, Cara Marie? So the full toss not as costly.
She does, and you often find if she does bowl one, she tends to get away with it, or it tends to be a wicket-taking opportunity for that very reason. Yeah, tough to face the leg spin when quite a few revs on it, like Cara Marie gives the ball.
Goes for the sweep shot. I think that's turning past the stumps. Just obviously we don't have the angle here. Just the camera on the wrong side, but from what we could see, I think you can see why umpire Johnny Kennedy shook his head. Good over from Prendergast, followed up by a good over from Murray. Big ball this, just to try and put pressure on Pakistan. Oh, full toss. Oh dear. Orla Prendergast in the deep. Just kept on coming at her, didn't it? 4 runs to close out the over, somewhat spoils it, but decent anyway, just 7 from it. And after 9, Pakistan 74 for 2.
A rare misfield here from Prendergast, but also probably quite lucky not to be given a no ball. It was quite high with the full toss there.
Oh, look at that last bounce. That was a horror last bounce. It just skidded on. You expected it to pop up. We were giving out about a slide from Sadia Iqbal earlier. I reckon it might have been the option there. But yeah, that looked like a full toss. She does get so much drop right at the end. It's really coming down. But yeah, I reckon if we had a side-on view of that, we'd be probably signalling the low ball, or the no ball. So it gets away with one, Cara Marie. Gareth Morrison was the square leg umpire. He felt like it was okay. Lara McBride's going to continue. Well, when I say continue, she's going to replace Orla Prendergast. I couldn't for the life of me think who had bowled the last over from the City end there, but she bowled the last over of the power play, and then Prendergast came on for 1. Almost worked out to get the wicket of Muniba Ali, but the catch went down. So now it's up to McBride around the wicket to the left-hander.
And that's quite a tough length to get away, but she doesn't have much protection out there on the offside, so she wouldn't want to be too much shorter than that.
Ooh, yeah, there's no fielder out in the deep on the offside, so I think the key was it was the arm ball, so it kept coming in at the left-hander. Much less pace there. Gabby Lewis going square on that occasion to try and make sure there's no gap. Arlene Kelly, not the quickest in the Ireland team. She's comes around. It's probably 2 every time into that pocket.
It's brilliant running, it really is. And turning those ones into 2s really does keep Muniba Ali on strike and elevates the scoring.
Good pace that from Lara McBride, really changing. First one was a little bit shorter, a little bit quicker than the much slower one. That one probably the best ball out of the 3 so far. That's 2 leg side. Rebecca Stokell has work to do. She won't get there. She got it in the right place to the short boundary. Stokell was backward, but not backward enough. 4 runs for Muniba Ali.
Muniba Ali here was very aware of where Rebecca Stokell was in the deep and was able to get that as fine as she possibly could. 2 straight allowed her the ability to get it fine.
She just hasn't got the length right there. 2 fielders out straight. And this is in the air. Stokell down there. She'd come even more backward, but didn't have the legs to get to her. They could have come back for 2 there. Stokell fumbling twice. So just the 1 delivery left, and that the run rate is a good indicator of how both teams are tracking. The current run rate for Pakistan now down at just above 8, and the required rate getting close to 7.5. So if she manages to bowl a dot here, it'll actually be a good over. We're always trying to just bowl a little bit below what the required run rate is to get the pressure up. It'll be a wide, so definitely not.
And it is tough with the left-right combination, especially trying to spear the ball across the left-hander. when Manibra Ali was on strike.
The long ball, slow. Riaz manages to get it through the offside, but Stokel managing to keep it to 2. And yeah, that 4 just slightly ruining things for Lara McBride. So 10 overs gone, 84 for 2 Pakistan. They're in a good position. Ireland were 79 for 1 at the same point, and they pulled things back so well, didn't they, Pakistan, after the power play in their bowling innings. Celeste Rack going for a little sunbathe in the sunshine here at Clontarf. Andy Balbirnie, Pakistan, in the driver's seat.
Yeah, you'd have to say so. Just thinking how costly that drop catch could be as we see Arlene Kelly come back into the attack. Madiba is clearly the wicket that Ireland need to get if they're going to stem this flow, and they need to get it quick.
Yeah, it's hard to understand how that catch went down. Cara Murray, one of Ireland's best catches. It's just straight to her. Now Arlene Kelly into the attack. When will Freya Sargent get the opportunity? Good from Kelly. They won't get back for the second. I don't think she's hit it too well. Maniba Ali.
It's a really good point, actually. Freya Sargent obviously hasn't played a part in this series, and it's a bowler that these two batters haven't seen this week, so can it be a chance to get her in the game and just get something to shift this momentum back into Ireland's favour?
Yeah, and as a bowler, you don't get to bowl in the first half of the innings. You just, the nerves, I don't care how many times you've played for Ireland, if you're only getting your opportunity and you don't get to bowl, you'd be stewing there on the pitch. She's in point at the moment, especially considering that Arlene Kelly hasn't been bowling well in the series, gone for 20 in her first 2. She only got 2 overs in the other 2 games, so I think maybe it's a case of being told, the captain, that Arlene Kelly needs to get 4 overs in. Oh dear, that was almost a catching chance. Gabby Lewis went for the catch. I think that she made the right decision. It didn't quite carry, and that's the first boundary for Aliyah Riaz, I think.
Just one of those in between. It was dipping. As she hit it, it just dipped, and it would have been, I don't think it was ever going to carry to Gabby Lewis, and she can't get anywhere near it, and it gets away for another boundary.
I don't think she could, even if she hadn't gone for the catch, I don't think she could have stopped the 4 either, so that was the slower ball as well, I think, from Arlene Kelly. They decided not to come back for the second, which I think was a good decision. Ola Prendergast being allowed to play field on the boundary today. That was the second boundary, of course, Aliyah Riaz. So she's being given the opportunity at 4 to see can she get some form before this series ends. They're going to be playing South Africa before they go to the World Cup, the 50-over World Cup, but they really need her to find some form. She had quite a long warm-up today, this afternoon, before the game. Lewis will keep that to 1. So apart from that 4, which was more about a good shot than anything to do with the bowler, it's been a good comeback over from Kelly.
Yeah, it has. Maniba just looks so in control out there at the moment. And Gabby Lewis will be scratching her head to think, how can we take this wicket that will completely change the complex of where this game is going to go.
Well, it would have been handy if Cara Murray had taken the catch. That would have probably been the turning point for Ireland. 11 gone, pretty good over from Arlene Kelly. 91 for 2 after 11, and it is quite hot here, isn't it? The Pakistani batters taking some water on.
It's hot in this box.
It's very hot, isn't it? It's a pity we can't leave the door open. Maniba Ali still out there, 63 from 43 for her. She was dropped on 51, and how costly that's going to be, we'll only find out once she gets out or once the game is over. Shawala and Natalia, neither of them really making much of an impact. 3 and 9 from them. Aliyah starting to look like her normal self, 14 from 12.
Yeah, we're going to see Freya Sargent for the first time in this series. You see the bowlers on the right-hand side. Orla Prendergast, no doubt, saving her last 2 overs for the back end of this innings if required. Big cheer in the crowd as the hometown spinner comes on for her first bowl of the series, and it'll be really interesting to see how she goes. She's a genuine off spinner, tries to give it a rip. I mentioned it in the first innings. This is the 3rd time we've played on this wicket.
Yeah, and I think it's the first sign of Ireland as well, having the depth in a squad where you can chop and change your team based on conditions more than just your best 11 players out on the pitch. Round the wicket to the left-hander. Hit with power but can't find the gap. Decent start. No doubt the fingers are a little bit sweaty. She'll want this to go well. It's so hard not to place your future success on the success of one spell. Lovely. And just punch down the ground. Clever batting from Maniba Ali. Ireland won't mind that at all. If they can go dot one, and you never know.
Yeah, and 2 off spinners in this team with McBride and Sargent just look like 2 slightly different spinners. Sargent trying to give it a rip and bowls that bit quicker, but McBride mixing up her pace and length is that kind of wily old school off spinner.
Great to have the 2 different types, isn't it? It's going to be a boundary though, slightly over pitched. The fielder up was mid off, and Riaz just had to find the gap, which she does with ease.
Yeah, you mentioned those nerves and the slippery fingers. Just looked like it wasn't a great ball. Got what it deserved. Still a good shot. You still have to hit it for 4 all along the carpet.
The field is square leg mid wicket, long on cover. So she'll hit the 4 and then the single. And this is all they need to do, Pakistan, to get the consolation win. They'll be desperate to go home with a 2-1 loss as opposed to 3-0. There's plenty of time for this game to swing though. If they can get Maniba Ali, then the complexion changes entirely. Oh dear. Just a little bit of drift. Took the pace off. Very full for that shot.
Yeah. She's clearly trying to play a late cut there. Point and 3rd are up. Good bowling from Sargent. She started well here, but take that full toss out. It's been a decent start for her.
Oh, she loves to do that as well. You move in your crease. She's not going to bowl the ball.
And a bit of a stare as well.
Yeah, get your spinners in the battle. That's what I always say. Mid-on in the ring. That's the gap. And good fielding off her own bowling. So just the 6 from it. A great start from Freya Sargent to in the game quite late. Just bowls the 12th over as her first. 97 for 2, Pakistan.
Yeah, she'll take that, having not been involved in international cricket this summer. But Ireland need wickets. 6 and over isn't going to do it. They need to find a way to get a wicket. And if that means changing the bowlers, we're going to see who's that, Leah Paul? No, Cara Murray. Whether it's a change in the field, bring an extra fielder up, force them to go over, something like that can create a wicket. Cara Murray does have that effect as a bowler, and we've seen that over the course of the series. Yes, she can be expensive, but she does create wicket-taking chances.
Yeah, and she, whenever you're facing a leg spinner, you really have to execute, don't you? Even their bad balls can be hard to get away. If it's a drag down and it's turning away from you, or a full toss that's dipping, cover long on mid-wicket square. There's the short one. And it's hit forward of Paul in the deep. Does well. They'll come back for 2 though. She doesn't have the strongest arm. She's a good throw, but not good enough from that distance, I think.
Yeah, and just missed her length short. I'd prefer if she missed her length full, just because that's how she's created her chances in the previous games this week.
Yeah, absolutely. She gets a lot of wickets caught off full tosses, Cara Murray. Just cramps up Riaz for room, who really wants to play through that point region, doesn't she? Leah Paul's been moved a little bit straighter on the cover boundary, so if she does beat Laura Delaney on her right-hand side, she could be in with the boundary. There's the full toss.
Got away with it.
Very low full toss, wasn't it? She does get a lot of drop on the ball, Cara Murray. Nice overspin. 100 up for Pakistan in the 13th. They'll be pleased with that. Down the pitch, and good power from Maniba Ali. That's gone over mid-off, who's up in the ring. She saw the spot, she set her sights on it, and she hit the ball with real authority.
Yeah, I thought Cara Murray was in the game there when I saw it go up, but of course mid-off is up. That's the way Cara Murray has bowled all series. She's had that mid-off up, and it's just really good batting. She gets right down to the pitch of the ball and barely hits it, just has to go through with it a touch and gets it over this infield.
Looks for the sweep shot, but full for that shot. I wonder if she's a premeditative sweeper like you, Angie Balburney.
I'll have to ask after the game. But she's clearly looking to target this spin.
Yeah, I think she must be with that shot, because you don't play the sweep shot on that length if it's unless you've decided beforehand. There's the drag down. Chance in the deep. Oh dear. Leah Paul. That's just gone straight into the sun, I think, has it? No. The sun's not in that direction, so I don't know what happened. For the 50 partnership, she should be out twice now, Maniba Ali.
Yeah, she has the sunglasses on the back of the hat, which is always interesting, so it mustn't be the sun. It was up for a decent amount of time, and she just didn't really seem to get in at all. And I mean, once you don't see it from the off, you're in big trouble, and to rub salt in the wound, a boundary to end Cara Murray's over. Pakistan 108 for 2 from 13.
Ireland were 92 for 2 at the same point, so they're well ahead of the game here. Pakistan. Freya Sargent pulling out there again. Mid-off still inside the ring, so she has the same field as she did last over to Aliyah Riaz. Takes on the mid-off fielder, but slices it down to cover. She definitely had her eyes on the straight boundary.
I was going to ask, do you know what that's about, the stopping and just staring? Is that a psychological thing? Is it?
I think she does it definitely if people move. On that occasion, I think she might have just realised that the hands were sweating a bit more than she would have liked. She wanted to get the mud on them, dry them off a little bit. Lovely batting from Maniba Ali. You can see real 50 over prowess in that shot.
Yeah, and Ireland will be kicking themselves because she has given, I'm going to give it 2 chances. I was going to say a chance and a half, but I think that chance last over was a good enough chance to have seen the back of her.
Floated wide, and that's exactly what Riaz wants. She wants the width. Stokel won't be able to stop the second. Yeah, it was a bit of a setup, wasn't it? She thought that Riaz was going to run at her, so she threw it wide.
Yeah, took a bit of pace off it. Riaz had to wait a bit longer, but played a really nice late cut. As mid-on, long on, comes up into the ring, and this is what I was talking about, just trying something different. Force Riaz to go over the top. That might create that chance to turn this game back in Ireland's favour.
A quick chat between captain and bowler, so she's gone back out. Fires that one in. Amy Hunter does well to keep it to just 1 extra off the wide. Don't mind the plan. You can just see the kind of execution maybe not quite there from Sargent. She's been off the field for a long time. Yes, she's played some Evoke Super Series cricket, but it's a different kettle of fish with your Ireland shirt on. Good half stop that from Gabby Lewis. Probably saved the second. Delaney down there. She kind of palmed it off to her, didn't she?
Yeah. Hard square here in Clontarf. But gets half a hand to just palm it off to her good mate Laura Delaney. Not a bad over here from Freya Sargent, but if she can create that chance.
Dance down, and that could have easily gone to any of those fielders, either the bowler or the extra cover or mid-off. Just managed to press the eject button before she got herself into trouble. And the sweep shot gets away the wide, really costing Ireland because the extra ball goes for a boundary and a good over spoiled on the final delivery. 14 gone. Pakistan 119 for 2. Maniba Ali, the mainstay. She's been there since the beginning, 74 from 52, but it's Aliyah Riaz who's getting in on the action.
Yeah, really good shot. Now 45. Free hit almost, just get anything on it into that pocket. Slightly drifts down the leg side, like you said, Izzy. That wide creates that extra ball. 4 from it, makes it Pakistan's over.
Yeah, and I think because she's so focused on her executing, she probably hasn't changed her field as much as she normally would for a Sargent. She could have taken her mid-wicket out and put in a 45 if she knew she was going to bowl straight. This is good captaincy because the game is drifting away from Ireland here. Abby Lewis has to make something happen. She's bringing on her trump card, Orla Prendergast. Mid-wicket square, fine, and cover out. She'll bowl around the wicket to Maniba Ali. She's got her in the first game. She should have had her already today. She's going to try and get her out a third time effectively.
I think we're going to see some short stuff here with this field.
Oh, nearly get themselves in trouble there, Pakistan. Good start from Prendergast.
I'd have to agree with you, Izzy. I think it's really good captaincy. Gabby Lewis realises that this game is getting away from them, so they need to take wickets however they can. And Orla Prendergast has shown throughout her international career that she is that person who can crack open an end and create a chance for Ireland to take.
Straight again. The field is set for that bowling. She'll be desperate to take a wicket, but the other side of it is not going for runs as well. So double jobbing, 36 from 34 required. So that's all they need to do, Pakistan. You do get the feeling that they're not willing to take it to the end. They want to win this with balls to spare.
Yeah, and with 2 wickets down, you can take that risk of trying to kill the game in the next couple of overs with a big over, and you're so far ahead of the rate that you just have to coast home. But that's why cricket's such a funny game. If you can find something, a bit of magic out there, create a bit of chaos, then you just never know.
Oh, well done, Laura Delaney. Wears it on the shins. Appreciation from the crowd here. That was going like a tracer bullet. And she just managed to hit the ground and let it hit her. A little bit of a limp on now.
Yeah, it was a brilliant stop. It had 4 written all over it. And like you said, body on the line sort of stuff at this stage of the game. But Ireland are playing with such confidence at the moment. They know that if they can create that chance, they'll have a real opportunity to get back into this game.
Full. It's a double bluff and Maniba Ali was ready. Great stroke through the offside. Don't bother running. She's in some really good touch for the left-handed opener.
She's played so many good shots today, but this is a real favourite of mine. Classical cover drive, 2 full from Orla Prendergast. Her mid-off's up. Pierces that gap beautifully all along the ground. 4 runs.
Goes back to that shorter length. We haven't really seen anything too short though. Are you surprised to see her bowl generally up to the 2 batters?
Yeah, and I just feel Maniba will take it on the way she's playing. She's played so well, she's confident. It's a big hit out here. It is, that sun is playing a part. You can just see Leopold at deep mid-wicket with the hands over the hat. But they've got to try to find something here. And yeah, I thought there would be a bit of short pitch bowling. She did it with great success at the death in the last game. Slightly different scenario now.
Down the ground. Arlene Kelly, can you get there? No, it's just out of reach. We saw Gabby Lewis take a similar catch to that a few days ago, but Arlene Kelly just can't quite catch up with it. So another good over for Pakistan. They look in a really good position after 15. They're 128 for 2.
Well, here we are. 5 overs remaining. Ireland are left with it all to do. Pakistan in a dominant position. They really should close out a consolation victory here and break that 9-match winning streak for Ireland. But funny things happen, particularly when you've lost the first couple of games on the tour. And Ireland will believe if they can get Muniba Ali, they might just be able to find a way into this game. Andrew Leonard here alongside Celeste Rack to guide you through the final five. Pakistan surely going to close us out, Celeste.
They'll be really confident from the position they're in, but Muniba Ali is the key. She's been batting so well today, and if she's to get out, it does change the equation.
Yeah, the aggression and the intent that we saw Pakistan come with in the second T20I, they've come again with today. Ireland erred in a few areas though, a couple of dropped chances. Might create a chance and it's not quite going to carry. Oh, the initial step back is going to prove very costly. For me, I think this was a chance, and you won't believe it, it's Cara Murray again.
It's been a tough day in the field for Cara Murray, and I think you're right here, Lenny. Just if she'd anticipated slightly more and moved quicker with that first step, it may have been an easier catch, but she had a lot of work to do.
The initial movement was all backwards, and I think that's proved very costly. Ended up only getting one hand to it. So there's no doubt about it. Dropped with a very simple chance on 52 in the 8th over. Off the bowling of Orla Prendergast, and now put down again off the bowling of McBride. You can't be dropping a batter of Muniba Ali's quality. You just can't do it.
And she's really made them pay, and that is what the best players in the world do. Once they're given one chance, they don't really give too many others, and they kick on.
Pulled away, an area where Muniba Ali has had such success. She's only scored one T20I century. That came against Ireland. Is she thinking about a second, or is it just all focus on the win right now?
It's probably snuck into the back of her mind. I don't know any batters that can look at 83 on the scoreboard and not start thinking about the three figures.
She would need 17. Pakistan as a team right now need 24, so not out of the realms of possibility. Credit to McBride. I really like the attitude and the vigour that she has to the game for such a young cricketer, continuing to toss it up. Very brave bowling.
Her changes of pace have been really impressive, and especially for someone her age. She's so young, she lacks experience as an off-spin bowler as well. She's only been bowling it for a year and a half. So the cricket nous that she has as a bowler and her ability to change pace is very impressive.
Bowls that one a little bit like Mark Watt from 24 yards, but it's hit away over the head of the extra cover fielder. Pakistan closing in here. Aliyah Riaz has played a fine hand too. The two really experienced batters in this lineup for Pakistan standing up.
Aliyah Riaz has chosen the tallest fielder on the entire pitch, really, to try and hit that over, and she's cleared her easily. She's looking in good touch, Aliyah Riaz, that we haven't really seen from her throughout this series so far until today.
Great form in the ODI format back in April. She was outstanding in the qualifier. Oh, a nasty bounce, not the first one that we've seen today. As that just comes off some of the used wickets across to the offside. 17 to win, 4 overs to do it. It's been all Pakistan, 139 for 2. And Ireland, despite that brilliant start in the first innings, well, they could be getting blitzed away here.
Yeah, it goes to show the quality of both teams in that there is not really a score that's safe when you're setting now. Whereas for Ireland a few years back, having to chase 155, 160, 170 would have been a huge barrier. But both teams here don't seem to feel that pressure from the scoreboard. They've got in so positively, believing that they can win.
It's something we were talking about in that first game when Ireland posted a slightly higher score, 140 odd, was Pakistan's kind of lack of pedigree in terms of chasing big totals down. They haven't done it regularly. I think they've only twice chased a total higher than this. Both of those came against South Africa. They have got a reasonable pedigree of making high first innings totals, but in terms of second innings totals, it was just 156 for 3 against South Africa and 151 for 5 against South Africa that have been anything like this. So this would equal their highest chase. It would only be a consolation win, but you'd have to say across the balance of the series, one that Pakistan would really deserve.
Certainly, yeah, and if they do go forward and win this today, they can take great confidence from this runs chase. It's been a really impressive display of batting from Muniba Ali.
He just just wonder if maybe a little bit of the emotion of 2 days ago catching up on Ireland. They've been probably a little bit over-reliant. This has hit a long way out towards deep cow corner and put down. Well, it sums up Ireland's day. And if they were going to drag something out of the fire, that had to be taken. And Leah Paul puts it down.
She had a lot to do out there, Leah Paul. And that's 3 dropped catches now.
All of Munib Ali. Yeah, that probably should have been taken at this level. I know the sun is a factor, staring straight into it. May give another chance. No, she's going to split the 2 fielders in the deep this time. She's thinking about 100. I can guarantee you of that now. Into the 90s goes Munib Ali. Pakistan cruising home.
And there's nothing worse as a bowler when you've had a dropped catch the ball before. How often do you get hit for the ball after? It's great batting from Munib Ali.
Big full toss now, and again hit to Leah Paul and doesn't quite carry. Was that a chance? Harsh to say yes. The end result will be 4 more. Munib has a maximum from a second T20I 100.
Munib is really in a rush to get going here. Cara Murray hasn't pitched this where she wanted today. Bit too full, and Munib has got a good piece of it. A lot of work out there for Leah Paul to do. She couldn't quite get there. It's raced away for 4.
She's only made 2 international centuries, 1 in ODIs, 1 in T20Is. Both have come against Ireland.
Just like her fellow former Pakistan player, Javeria Khan, loves to score runs against Ireland. If you looked at Javeria Khan's career, she would triple her batting average against Ireland than she would against every other country.
5 to win. Munib Ali needs 4 of them. I wonder, are we going to be seeing a little bit of a manipulation of the strike over these last couple of overs? She could, of course, get there with any boundary now. Oh, wide is the last thing she wants, and stays almost crestfallen on one knee as a consequence.
If that's deliberate, no, it's definitely not. But that is the last thing Munib wanted.
I've been seeing that in a few club games in Ireland over the years. Oh, now, is that going to be a no ball? No is the indication from the square leg umpire. This is, very tight indeed. It's going to be a single. Munib Ali will move to 97. 1 delivery left in the over. We may see a forward defensive here, I suspect, from Aliyah Riaz.
You'll see now how good they are as friends.
It's always a game within a game, isn't it?
Definitely.
It's so unique to cricket. Don't think any other sport quite has moments like these. Pakistan cantering home to a big win. Oh, now. Don't think she quite read the room at first, but then Aliyah Riaz says no. Yes, no, wait. And a big roar from the Pakistan bench to the side. Munib Ali rightly is going to get a chance to make that that T20I century to go alongside the ODI century and T20I ton she has against Ireland. Would be a 3rd ever. They need 3 to win off 18. It's 153 for 2. Pakistan, outstanding.
Absolutely outstanding. It's been such an impressive chase.
This is where you have to be careful, isn't it, in terms of kind of getting your way to that century. 3 to win. You need 3 of them. The last thing you want is a single, particularly early in the over. Crazy to even be talking about this, but that's really what the focus is right now. Can Munib Ali get a well-deserved century?
It does feel like Test cricket rather than T20 cricket with who's farming the strike and who isn't. But it would be a brilliant way to finish the series for Munib Ali. It'd be a well-deserved 100 if she is to amass the 3 figures.
Reminds me very much of that Ireland-Pakistan game, which was in essence a virtual knockout in the 2015 World Cup in the Adelaide Oval, where Pakistan were always going to get the win over Ireland. They won up by 7 wickets, but the last 5 or 6 overs turned into a bit of a farce as Safraz Ahmed manipulated his way to a ton. Could be an interesting watch here for the final 3. It can be frustrating as a fielding side this. You know in all reality the game is gone. You're almost kind of watching on, allowing the landmark to be got to.
Could we see a maiden?
Well, I think she'll look for the single off the sixth ball.
Off the sixth ball.
If it's 5 dots. I
Yeah.
don't think it will be.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I remember Umar Akmal just blocking the stodge out of it at the Adelaide Oval. The Irish players knew the game was done. Now, they're going to get the single. Can she get back? She's going to try to. Could create a run-out chance. Oh, direct hit would have been gone. But the dive will get her to 99.
That's very well run from Maniba, and she was going to get her 100 or get out trying. She wasn't leaving anything to chance, not leaving the last runs to Aaliyah.
Well, I'll tell you, it was a risky second. It really was, and she's out on her feet, down on her haunches, trying to catch her breath. Just a couple of days after celebrating her 28th birthday. It's a slightly delayed birthday present, potentially, whatever the case here. Oh my, how's that missed? Beats the outside edge, evades the off stump. All sorts happening out there as the field swarms in.
This is great bowling from Canning. She's not letting her have this easy. And she's fighting to retain her spot in the team as well, with Maguire coming out and there being a battle for the seam positions. So she's got her own game within a game that she's playing as well.
Worked into the leg side. It's going to be T20I century number 2. International 100 number 3 altogether. All 3 have come against Ireland, and it may be in a consolation win, but Muniba the magnificent, the majestic, brings up a 68 ball ton. The first game in Lahore, the second game in Cape Town. This one comes here in Clontarf. They may not win the series, but they will take a victory, a very well-deserved victory. 68 balls, 14 fours and a 6 to go with it. Take a bow. Muniba Ali.
Truly brilliant innings there, and a well-deserved 100 from Maniba. And Pakistan can go home not with the trophy that they wanted, but happy that they were able to put up such a fight today and win in the fashion that they did.
Pakistan have deserved this win. You could argue maybe they deserved the series win if it wasn't for Jane Maguire's heroics 2 days ago. You would imagine that it would be Pakistan who would be taking a 2-1 series victory. It's been a great series. It's ebbed and it's flowed. We saw 2 very tight games, the first game and the second. This one, being honest, has been a bit of a hammering for Ireland, and maybe not the worst wake-up call for them ahead of that European qualifiers coming up.
Definitely the last thing you want as Ireland to go in really confident, not looking at areas of the game that they perhaps may have overlooked over the last few months. They'll be really working on making sure that they're nailing down their fielding, making sure that they're bowling in the areas they want to consistently, and perhaps a bit of reflection as a result of today isn't the worst thing.
Also a few shades, sadly, of April in Pakistan, where Ireland's catching was really the difference and put pay to any hopes of qualification for that ODI World Cup. 3, if not 4 or 5, depending upon how harsh a judge you are, went down today, and that's ended up being a big difference between the sides. You cannot drop a batter of Muniba Ali's class, not once, not twice, but thrice.
Yeah, and that was the difference in the end. It would have been very interesting if Muniba Ali had been caught along the way to see how the rest of her team would have gone attacking this total, but we didn't have to find out that today. She managed to take it home for her team, and she was absolutely brilliant.
We'll look through all the cards from both innings. A fantastic knock again from Orla Prendergast, who could well be the player of the series, you would suspect, with all of her all-around efforts. Loud cheers from the Pakistan fans who've come in good numbers today, the best crowd of the series on a fantastic Sunday for cricket here in North Dublin. But maybe Ireland, after that flying start, we know Gabby Lewis was unlucky with that LBW decision. You thought 165, 170 at a minimum, given how well they played. 155 was a bit shy.
Yeah, it's really hard to say at the moment what is a total that if you don't bowl and field well enough, that is too much for the opposition. So, with that total today, they would have had to bowl and field a lot better than they did.
Yeah, the partnership's a 52-run opening partnership for Hunter and Lewis. Lewis will probably watch the coverage back of that LBW decision and say, oh, They've had a real tough one there to take. And plenty of contributions from the rest of the order. For the bowlers, I thought Nashra rounded out a really good series, very economical throughout. Fatima Sana was a bit expensive, some issues with no balls coming down the hill. Probably the star of the show, bouncing back after that last ball. 6 she was hit for, Sadia with her at 1 for 29. And overall, just the collective effort of the bowlers, very impressive the way they dragged it back. For the Irish bowlers, it was, well, a tale of woe, really. Munib Ali, the star of the show with the bat, and despite picking up those 2 wickets, it was a third wicket partnership that took the game away from Ireland. Special mention too for Leah Riaz. She played really nicely.
She really did. She'll be glad. She didn't bat as well as she probably would have liked in the first 2 games. So she did so well today to be able to put on 101 with Muniba, 39 of them coming from herself off 27. It was a brilliant innings, and her maturity really shone through.
Century partnerships don't come about too often in women's T20I cricket, so that's a really good effort from those 2. And the fact it's coming a win, I know it's a consolation victory, but they'll be utterly ecstatic with that. In fact, it's only in their history, their 8th partnership of 100 or more. It is the second highest in their history for their 3rd wicket, just behind Javeria Khan and Bisma Maharouf, who put on 109 against Bangladesh. For the Irish bowlers, a bit of inconsistency there. And for me, certainly, I don't know about you, Celeste, probably calling out that team selection again. The balance of that side just doesn't feel right.
Yeah, you're right. I think they were lacking Jane Maguire today. Arlene Kelly has been so consistent for so long, but wasn't quite at the level that she's expected to these last few games. So yeah, I'd say that Lloyd Tennant has a lot to look at and see where he wants to go forward.
It's funny, despite a 2-1 series victory, I think there is a lot of questions that Lloyd Tennant is going to be searching for answers to. Potentially that qualifier there in the Netherlands with the 2 spots on offer. If it was only 1, it would feel a lot more pressured. But with there being 2 spots and lower ranked opposition in terms of the hosts, the Netherlands, Italy and Germany, you would imagine Ireland will plot their way through that. Whether they'll do that unbeaten or not, we'll have to wait and see. Coverage of all of that will be live and free on ICC TV. We're looking forward to seeing the girls in green, and we're wishing them well. We want to thank you so much for joining us throughout the coverage. Celeste, I want to thank you for all your thoughts. Andy Balbirnie as well. Great to be with you.
Yeah, no, great. It was a great series, Lenny. It really was. It was brilliant.
Been fantastic. And I think we're all set for the post-series presentation now. We're going to find out who the player of the series is, the player of the match, and we'll crown Ireland 2-1 series victors. Let's get out to Isabel Joyce.
Welcome to the post-match presentation. Pakistan getting the consolation win to make it 2-1 in this T20 3-match series. Ireland posting 155 for 4. Pakistan got to 156 in this 18th over. I have Cricket Ireland President Donna Armstrong with me to present the player of the match. That's where we're going to start things off. Honourable mention to Orla Prendergast, who made 64 not out for Ireland in the first innings, but for her 100 not out from just 68 deliveries, 14 fours, 1 6 at a strike rate of 147. It's Pakistan's Muniba Ali. Well done, Muniba. We'll do some swapping around there. Congratulations. What an innings. Were you just taking the mantle yourself, saying, I'm going to hand this win for my team?
Yeah, obviously when I got a start in power play, that's when I started to believe and telling myself that I can finish and just have a good partnership with Alia, and then we can both finish the match early.
You obviously like playing Ireland. 2 centuries in T20 internationals across all of Pakistan. You have them both, and they're both against Ireland. What's that about?
I don't know, just I don't know.
Yeah, well, just to give you some other stats, you've made 383 runs in 9 innings against Ireland, so they're obviously an opposition that you like. But that being said, I mean, tell us about that innings, because you played all around the ground beautifully.
Yeah, I was just, first when I started to bat, I was just focusing on power play, how to get a good start in the power play. Once the power play finishes, then I was just focusing on rotating and rotating and attacking in 1 over throughout, just making sure that 1 over goes big and others I can just rotate. So thankfully today I bat along my plan. So.
Finally, you have a really busy period coming up for the next number of months, all the way through to next summer when you'll play the T20 World Cup in England. It must feel nice to get 100 under your belt at this point in time going into that busy period.
Yeah, obviously that was in my mind, but it's a long time, 1 year to go. We have a lot of cricket in between, and I was just focusing on 50 over format right now and World Cup in my mind.
Well, best of luck in that World Cup. I'm sure we'll see you score some more centuries in that. That's Pakistan's Maniba Ali. Thank you, Maniba.
Thank you.
And now we'll speak to Pakistan captain Fatma Sana. Bigger, you always have a smile on your face, but an even bigger one after that.
Yeah, definitely. But today is the day that I can laugh. So, yeah.
How nice is it for you sitting on the sideline watching your two senior batters going about things the way they did?
Yeah, definitely the way Muniba played, that was brilliant, and we want that type of inning in T20, so that's the set for our team.
And Aliyah Riaz as well, looking like she's coming into form at the right time.
Yeah, I think I just need to back her, so I need to that type of confidence in the batting. So definitely Aliyah showed that confidence in us, so that's.
Bowling wise, Ireland had a very strong power play, but you pulled it back really well as a bowling unit. Another pleasing thing for you.
The way our spinners bowled, so that was good. We need this type of things. So obviously in T20 cricket, I think so. Comeback is more important than the team, so that's good.
A little battle between you and Orla Prendergast. I know you took the wicket in the first ball of the final delivery, but how frustrating is it to bowl to her, kind of like how Ireland found it was against Maniba Ali?
I think she's a good player. I just talk about my teammate. The way she played, that was good, and I really enjoyed her batting.
Yeah. Okay, well done, and the consolation win, and best of luck for everything that's coming up, and thank you for coming over and a brilliant series. That's Pakistan's captain Fatma Sana. We'll move on to the player of the series, and for that we have the chair of Cricket Ireland, Brian McNeese, to present. So for her 144 runs at 72 and 4 wickets at an average of 18, it's Ireland's Orla Prendergast. You're going to grab that mic for me, Orla. Not the result you wanted today, but the way you batted, you must be very pleased.
Yeah, definitely happy enough. But to be honest, I think we might have been a few short out there. With the bat, I think, there's probably stuff to look back at now. Probably overs 10 to 20, which I was there for obviously all of. So it's kind of mixed emotions, I'd say.
Yeah. Listen, these kinds of series against an opposition so tight to Ireland, just tell us about the learning curve that creates, because you had a few brilliant series here last year as well, and then having Pakistan over and creating such competition, it's a really good learning environment, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. It's exactly what we need. I think we just need more and more series against these kind of teams. I think there's still the phrase thrown out that we shock teams that are better than us, but how many times do you have to beat teams that are ranked above you until it's not a shock anymore? I think we've shown time and time again how good a side we are. Although we were off the mark today, it doesn't take away from how good a series we had.
We'll look forward to the T20 qualifiers coming up, and I suppose you ask about how many times do you have to beat teams to shock them. I guess in a World Cup would be the place, wouldn't it? And this is the first step coming up.
Absolutely, yeah. A big competition coming up for us. We'll be going over there to win every game and qualify very convincingly, and on to the next steps towards the World Cup then.
Okay, well hopefully you're getting a player of the tournament presentation at the end of that tournament as well. That's Ireland's Orla Prendergast. Finally, the series winning captain, we've got Gabby Lewis from Ireland. Don't forget the microphone, Gabby.
Yeah,
it's like forgetting your bat when you go out into the middle. Listen, like I said to Orla, not the result you wanted today, but overall, going into a really important tournament, you must be generally pleased with how things have gone.
Yeah, really happy with the direction that we're heading. I think, if you look at the start of the summer, we just looked to take on these games, and I think that's exactly what we've done. We're really happy that we've been challenged out here, and I think that's all you can ask for in T20 cricket. We're very close with Pakistan, in terms of ranking, and I think it was great that the series was so close. And credit to them, they played great today. We knew that they'd come out firing, and that's what they did.
It's slightly different now going into qualifiers. Obviously, it's not a direct knockout. 2 teams go through. It's double round robin. But does the mindset change? How do you keep that winning mentality and fearless mentality that's so clearly in your team?
Yeah, I think it's just keep our momentum going. I know that we had a loss today, but I think if you look at the series as a whole, winning 2-1 at home against Pakistan, I think, we did really well and we did things really good in parts. It's just about patching up the other bits, which we'll look to rectify that in Holland.
You're going to have a tough time picking an 11, I think. And Shane Maguire obviously missing out today because she's being rested, but a good problem to have. However, you're going to have to help choose the team. How does that feel?
Yeah, it's great. I think, a couple of years ago we didn't have as much of a challenge, and I think it just shows the direction that we're heading. I think it shows the pathways that are coming through and the investment into the youth with the young players coming through, and that's all you want. You want people keep pushing for spots and keeping the older players on our toes. So, it's great. But yeah, tricky selections ahead, so looking forward to those conversations.
Okay, well look, hard luck today. I'm going to ask Cricket Ireland President Donna Armstrong to come back in. Well, I'll take that for you if you like.
Thank you.
And that's the series trophy. Ireland win 2-1 at home. So we'll leave it there. We'll let Gabby go and join our teammates. We really do appreciate your company for the 3 matches that we've had here in Clontarf against Pakistan. And we hope you've enjoyed it. From myself, from my co-commentators Celeste Rack, Andrew Leonard and Andrew Balburney. Thank you very much. We hope to see you again very soon. There's plenty more cricket coming up. Make sure you join us for that. But until next time, it's good evening and good night.